Good morning, friends. Good morning. Good morning. We could just give it a second. Oh, we're looking a little bit cloudy. Hang on. Hang on. So bear with me. It's going to get weird for a sec. Better? Yes, better. Um, while you guys are joining, that's a little quick PSA, public service announcement. If your photos, when you're taking photos, they start looking kind of blurry, check the front of your phone. So most of us, there's a, the lens is on the front of the phone, right? And that's where you hold your phone like this. So a lot of times in that little top area of your phone, at least on an iPhone, it will get kind of gunky if you get stuff from your face and makeup and oils and things like that. So it sometimes will really kind of make it look like your photo's really cloudy. So just grab a cloth or something like that and wipe that area off. I always, many times a day, anytime I take a picture, I will always wipe that area first to make sure that it looks okay. So that's what I just did, and then we were clear. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Oh my gosh, it feels like, sorry, I always get sidetracked on what's happening out the window. It feels like it's been forever. It's been 2 weeks, but it just feels like forever. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. So happy Saturday and welcome. I'm just looking at the chat to see who's here. Let me just get that little bit. Yeah. I get very sidetracked when I'm looking up there and it's a little bit crooked, but oh well, whatever. Okay, let's see. Hi, Terry. Good morning, Terry. Terry deserves some congratulations. She has a very fun new job, and I'll let her tell you guys about that in the chat if she's so inclined. So congratulations, Terry. Hi, Lulu girl. Yes, in Sydney, Australia. Oh, right, because it's Southern continent, and you guys are just heading into your winter, right? We're heading into our summer, so it's beautiful. It's 72 here this morning in Utah. So it's about 80 yesterday. So we're finally, I think, hitting summer. Colleen, hi, Colleen. Good morning. Hi, Gracie. And Nicole from South Dakota. Hi, Val. Val is Utah. Pam, good morning. Kathy, good morning. Mindy, hi, Mindy, Oklahoma. Veronica, lacrosse season is over. Veronica, I get that. And that's actually one of the things that'll pop up on one of my lists today is sports with our kids. And those one of the things that I miss. And I guess it could probably go on both lists. One of the things I miss and don't miss, but I totally get that. It's all consuming, right? The sports are all consuming. Hi, Kate from Wisconsin. Melissa. Oh, Melissa, you're scrambling for your son's college grad party tomorrow. Oh my goodness, that is so exciting. Congratulations. Hi, Mary Lee. Oh, I hope you're feeling better. I saw in the Facebook group that you were down last Saturday. You had some COVID and we're sad that we weren't together. So I hope you're feeling better. Hi, Janet. Hi, Belinda. Christy from PA. Okay, friends. So let's talk about what I'm just doing there. There's a live chat that takes place. So if you are watching live, you can participate in that live chat on YouTube. And all you need to do is, well, I think you just type in a little box. So that is how I'm responding, is that there are lots of people in the live chat that are chatting back and forth. And that's how I get to know you guys a little bit better. It is also how you guys kind of get to know yourselves. Well, you know what I mean. You already know yourself, but you guys get to know each other a little better in the chat. And that's where I love to catch up with you guys, because you know all about me, because I'm an open book. If it's in my head, it comes out my mouth. So I'm always telling you what I'm doing, but because it's kind of all one way, right? It's me talking at you. The chat is how we can all interact together. So I love that. So if you are new, welcome. My name is Lail Konkar, and I have a business called Lail by Mail. I have a website. I travel and teach. Well, prior to the pandemic, I traveled all over the world and was teaching quite a bit. Scrapbook classes, planner classes, traveler's notebook classes, mini book classes. But then pandemic hit and it kind of changed the life for all of us. So I still do some traveling and teaching in person, not as much as I used to, because kind of the world has changed. But my business has also changed immensely because of the pandemic. So we find ourselves here most Saturdays when I am not traveling. So that's happening a little bit more and more lately. So between the traveling to teach and then traveling my husband and I, Nick, we're empty nesters. So now we are taking advantage of that and doing a lot of traveling as well. So we're usually here every other week. Sometimes it'll be 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Once the fall starts again or late summer, things will kind of slow down a little bit and we'll be together more Saturdays. And then my travel teaching will kind of ramp up again because it's usually pretty busy spring and fall. So anyhow, we get together here on Saturdays and we do what I like to call creative listing. Now that's what I do. I, a couple days in advance, will publish on my blog 3 list topics. And those are the things that I will be talking about while we're together. And those are the things that I will be working on. Some of you will work on your list. Some of you will work on other projects. Some of you are working. Some of you are just doing whatever. So we get together and we hang out. And that is kind of the beauty of what we do here. At least what I love is that we can all just come here and hang out and do whatever we want. So I love it. So if you're new, welcome. I encourage you to hop in the chat and just say hi, because then we know that you're here and we can say hi and we can welcome you with open arms. So if you're new, pop in the chat and say, hi, I'm new. And then we can say welcome. Welcome to those of you that aren't new. Some of you have been here with me like literally every Saturday for the last 2 years. Yeah. A little more than 2 years. You guys have been with me every Saturday, which I just love. And some of you pop in and out and it's like old home week when some of you are circling back and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't been able to come in a long time and here I am. Excuse me. So if you're here live watching, welcome. If you're watching the replay, and I know lots of you do that, welcome to you too. I always joke kind of back in the day when I was a kid, one of the television commercials that was on TV was about the Memorex cassette tapes. And their tagline was, is it live or is it Memorex, right? So the theory was you could listen to one of their tapes and you wouldn't know if you were listening to live music or recorded. And that's kind of the way it is here. If you did not know you were watching a replay, you would think it was live. So is it live or is it Memorex? Okay, so what'll happen is every once in a while, the chat just kind of goes and goes and goes and I miss what's going on. So every once in a while, I'll like look over and see what's happening in the chat. As we get started and as we start working, I will start using different products. In a lot of those cases, I have linked the products that I'm using in the description box of the video down below. Usually you can only see a little tiny snippet and some people are like, I don't see anything. So there's a little like plus sign that says more and then you'll see all of it. In most cases, a lot of cases, I carry the products on my website. And if not, I've linked to where you might be able to find those products. So that is what we do here. Hi, Linda from Ontario. And Joe, Disney fan, said, always a good time on these lives chatting with everyone. And I love that. I love that you guys interact so much together. I always have FOMO though, like fear of missing out, because I feel like you guys are all having this whole chat and then I miss most of it, but that's okay. That's okay. Hi, Susan from Atlanta, Beach Gal. Hi, Deborah in Seattle. Okay, guys. Hi, Julie. Okay. We have a lot to talk about today. Well, we always have a lot to talk about. And even if we don't have a lot to talk about, I just talk anyway. So I have 5. I have some really fun new things to show you guys that have just come in. Or, well, anyhow, it'll make sense in a minute. So I think what I'm going to do, really quick, before I do that, we will not be together next weekend. So next weekend would be the 11th. Okay, we won't be together Saturday the 11th. We will be together I think 2 right now. I think we're looking at, as I have everything planned out, we will be together. We should be together the 18th of June, also the 25th of June. So we'll skip another week and then be together 2 weeks and then skip 4th of July weekend. And then we'll keep going. So that is the plan. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and flip the camera. Yes, Terry, as soon as I flip the camera, I will plug in. And I did turn it on. I did remember to go my focus or do not disturb or whatever it is. All right, so let's go ahead and flip. Okay. Oh, Terry, I also have to tell you, because I know that you will appreciate this. This color. Remember how I always say, oh my gosh, I love this color, but I feel like I can never wear that color? Because if I had something solid with that color, that's a really hard color for a lot of blondes to wear. Well, I figured out the way to do it. If you balance it out with a bunch of white, then I can have my cake and eat it too. Okay, here we go. Time to 1, 2, 3, flip the camera. So let's just talk about this right now because I see that, let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. Noelle is kind of new, from a small city in Argentina. Oh, welcome, Noelle. Nice to have you here. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Okay, so I know somebody just said new stamps. Oh yeah. Anne said, will you be using your new stamps? I ordered all of them. So let's talk about the new stamps, friends. If you did not know, well, I have my own, it's continuing to grow. Lots of product, well, not lots of products, right? Terry, we do not have a time limit today. Thank you. So I have a number of products that are my own, branded my own, that I have created or worked with different friends in the industry to design for me. And there are a couple of those. So let's talk about those. First of all, I showed this to you guys, I think when we were together last, but they're now here. Look at this little thing, this little handy dandy notebook. So it says, you know, our little friend Scatter there. And as we open up, you have just this little size notebook. So it fits in the palm of my hand like that. I don't know. Let's see how tall that is. That is about 5.5 inches tall by 3.5 wide. So this is a great thing to throw in your purse or in your bag or something like that. Keep your little notes on. But it also comes with a pen. Okay. A little pen that goes with it, also with Scatter. And some of you will recognize this pen and you're like, wait a minute, it looks kind of familiar. Because guess what? There's the matching not retractable pencil, mechanical pencil. So this one is called a soft touch. So it's kind of got a nice little soft here. But so this little guy, the notebook and the pen come together in a set. So that you'll see brand new on my website. But the thing I should tell you, we've got a couple of giveaways today. I always like to do giveaways on our videos, except I think I went back this morning and I watched the beginning and the end of the video last time we were together. I don't think I did a giveaway. So, because I didn't do a giveaway last one, we're going to do 2 today. So this will be the first one. This is the first one, this little handy dandy notebook and pen set. And both of the giveaways that I'll do today, we'll do them in the comments of the video. So not the chat, but in the comment section of the video itself. So make a quick mental note. You want to come back when the video is over, leave a comment on the video and tell me, let's see. One of our lists, and I haven't quite figured out how to word it yet. This was a list suggestion from Mimi Rude or Rude, I don't know, from Mimi. And it's basically like things we didn't know back then, things we didn't know would be a thing, or back then things we didn't know we would need now, or something like that. So in the chat, in the comment section of the video, I'll have you leave me a comment and tell me what is something that would be on your list, even if you're not listing. So things like doorbell cameras, Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever. Things like that might be on your list. So we'll end up with 2 prizes. That is one of the prizes. Jody 1581 said, hi, you're trying not to just be a lurker. I love that, Jody. So you know what? If you guys are lurkers, that's fine. If you don't know what a lurker is, it's somebody that just kind of is here, but doesn't really ever chime in. And I love it when you're not a lurker. So it's a super friendly group, super friendly. So pop in and say hi. All right. This is the super duper extra exciting. Now, what did I do with the insert where I have all my samples? Okay, hold on. Give me 1 minute while I locate what I did with them. Because that's the really important part. That's the part you want to see. In the meantime, I'll just let you stare at those lovelies. Oh, come on, Lail. I swear I get everything organized and then I get some wild hair and put something somewhere and it's like, oh my gosh. So if Nick were here, my husband, he'd say, well, if you put it where it belonged, you wouldn't, yeah, whatever, right? Okay. No, we need these. These are all my samples. My sample layouts. Oh my goodness. Lail. Oh, here they are. Got it. Okay. I tried to put something else away. Okay, so let's talk stamps. Brand new stamps. Okay, so my stamps, my Lail by Mail stamps, I work with my friend Andy K. Art. And Andy, if you've been around for a while, Andy does all the clipboard stamps, the clip stamps, right? So when I say clip stamps, what I mean by those are, oh, the listed stamps, hello, like that, right? With our little clipboard stamps. So Andy, those are Andy's, and now I have Andy design stamps for me under my brand. So we have, I don't know, maybe 5 Lail by Mel stamps prior to this, and now we have 4 more. So let's take a look at what those are. And for the most part, the stamps that I do are designed around our creative listing, okay? So this is the first one, brand new set called Currently. And over the last 2 years, we've done a list like this several times, currently. So what's fun about a stamp like this is that this is a great way to time capsule something, right? So you could do this monthly, you could do it every couple of months, you could do it annually, so once a year, and you're deciding what you want to list about. So you have currently, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. Currently plus 23 prompts. So you could use the same ones every month. You could switch them up, but things like watching, listening, reading, liking, disliking, drinking, eating, feeling, trying, considering, celebrating, planning, praying, playing. Anyhow, you get the idea there. So let me show you that stamp set in action. There you go. So that's a little sample that I put together for the packaging, but this is a list that we will be using, or I will be using going forward on our Saturdays. I'll probably do this one about once every 3 months, okay? About once every 3 months, but it can be a super simple list, right? This is a super simple list. I just stamped the title in color, picked which prompts that I wanted to use, and then used a little bit of my my heart washi along the bottom, and there you go. So super simple stamp, but that's kind of a fun way to do things. I think this would also be if you have family members that do this with you, because I know some of you do, but even if you have family members that don't do this with you, this would be a neat way to document your family, your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, family, friends, partners, spouses, significant others, whatever it may be. So to kind of, you know, especially if you have younger kids or younger grandkids, this stuff changes a lot. Like when you have a 5-year-old, what they're watching and eating and drinking, what they're playing is totally different than if you have a 25-year-old. All right, so there we go, currently. All right, next stamp set. Oh, this one. I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one. Well, I've been waiting for them all, but this one is called Swatch This Washi. So we have a prior set. It's called Swatch This Inks. And Swatch This Inks is designed to swatch your stamping inks. And that is what I did with all of these. So that was the first in the Swatch This series. Second in the Swatch This series. There will be at least 3. So this is the second of the 3. This one is for swatching your washi tape. And some of you might be thinking, why in the heck would I want to do that? Well, if you have a lot of rolls and you don't realize what you have any longer, and if you don't know what you have, then you don't use what you have, then swatching your washi gives you an idea. But it's also fun. So I also have a little example of that one. Oh, also here. No, it's in this one. All right. This guy is right. Oh, yes. Okay. So this I did for packaging. So this is not how I will be swatching my washi, but this was kind of fun because those are all of my washi tapes too. Well, not all the ones I own, but those are all my Lail by Mail washi tapes. So in that set, you have so many different stamps for the different ways that you want to swatch your washi. You have little Polaroids, you have paint rollers, you have paint brushes. You have these little boxes with a whole bunch of different toppers, right? Toppers for your boxes. So you have bow toppers, you have clip toppers, you have little hangers that would be fun too. You have the little hanger, a push pin. And I didn't really realize this until I started swatching my washi, but this stamp set you could use actually for quite a few different things. Like I thought, how fun would this be as just a little title Or if you're making your own kind of weekly planner, you could use that and put the washi tape in for each of the days. Anyhow, lots of options. So washi tape, that's the second one. The third one is labels. Okay, labels, but it's Lail labels. When I say Lail labels, look at everything is outlined, right? You know me and my outlining. I outline everything I do. So with those little labels, you have a double outline there, double outline there, double outline on those guys. And they're a little bit squiggly. And they're designed to be squiggly because then it looks like you kind of hand drew those, right? So let's take a look at what that one looks like. Oh, here is one of those little labels, right? But look how cute. That is the little label. You could do it with the small one, but in this case, I did it with the large one and then just cut part of the end off. Washi swatchy, washi swatchy. That's a mouthful. Washi swatchy. So there is just a little sample with a label. Usually when I'm using labels, I'm either doing like dates or I'm putting a little word strip sticker in. But look, this is what I will, and I started a little bit, but this is what I will be doing. We've talked about sometimes when you have some extra time and you want to be crafty, but you don't really want to work on a big project. Well, you can start by getting your labels ready, right? So pre-stamp a bunch, cut them out, and then you have a whole little container of your labels that are already pre-stamped and ready to go. So those are just some that I did ahead of time. Okay. So that is the third set. The fourth set is a really fun one. This one is called Write This, W-R-I-T-E this. So this is designed for the first page and the last page of your traveler's notebook inserts, right? One of the biggest questions I get is, well, I like to do 2-page lists, and so what do I put on the first page or last page of my traveler's notebook insert? Well, here's a really fun stamp set to help you do that. So you have that little lined single stamp, so that's one single stamp with a space there and a space there and a whole bunch of coordinating little icons. So you can put icons, stamp icons in each of those spaces or put stickers or whatever you want. Here's an example of that one in action. Oh, there we go, right there. So in this case, instead of putting, just kind of writing maybe what was in my traveler's notebook, I just put a little quote there. This is one of my favorite quotes, Jack London. It is about, well, I'll just read it to you. Keep a notebook, travel with it, eat with it, sleep with it. Slap into it every stray thought that flutters up in your brain. Cheap paper is less perishable than gray matter, and lead pencil markings endure longer than memory. He's telling us to do what we do, right? What we do on Saturdays. Keep a notebook. Take it with you everywhere you go. Write everything in it, right? And that's what I do with the traveler's notebook. So I stamped the little girl and little boy and then just took my colored pencils and kind of colored them in. So that's kind of an idea of something that you could do with that stamp set. Alrighty, friends. So these are all on pre-order on my website right now. They are in production. I will have them in stock. So the company that manufactures the stamps is in the US and they are in production, and I should have those mid-January, or excuse me, mid-June. So what I thought I'd do, remember how I said there's going to be 2 giveaways? That little notebook was one of them. I'm going to do one of these as a giveaway too, that Write This stamp set. All right. Or no, right here. Sorry, not Write This. It's called Right Here. Ooh, I better make sure I named that right on the website. Right Here, W-R-I-T-E. Anyhow, so I'll have you leave a comment on the video when it's over. Not in the chat, but leave a comment on the video when it's over. Just telling me, just say hi, whatever you want to say. Hi, I'm here. Hello, whatever. And I'll draw when we are together again in 2 weeks from all the comments randomly and pick 2 winners. Okay, let's get moving. We have lots and lots and lots to do today. So it's the first Saturday of the month. And we have a standing list that we do on the first Saturday of the month. We're just about 2 years in. I think August will be 2 years that we've been doing one of our kind of recurring lists, and it is called About Last Month. So this morning, I started finishing this. I didn't get very far. I added a couple more items to my list, but this is an example of what that About Last Month looks like, how it works. So for me, it is always a double page list. I have photos, one photo made up of lots of different photos over here on the right. I use my About Last Month stamp set for that little grid, and then I make my list. So that's what we're going to do. That is what we're going to start out with. We will go right here. I will wait to show you my lists from 2 weeks ago because I made zero progress on them. I need to finish those. All right, so let's go ahead. I have already pre-printed. Oh, I'll show you guys that later. Oh my gosh, Tracy said, if I counted right, this is live number 96. You're almost at 100. Oh my goodness. Okay, Tracy, I love that. I need to double check because we need to do something fun for 100, right? We need to do something fun for 100. All right, so ahead of time, I picked out the photos that I wanted to use for my for the right side of my About Last Month spread. I use the Epson PictureMate PM400 printer, and I use that almost exclusively for all of my photos. So it prints, I'm stepping away just a tad. I'm gonna turn on the lights. It prints 3.5 by 5s, 4 by 6s, and 5 by 7s. So that you see there is a 5 by 7. And I have used the Epson Creative Print app on my iPhone, but it's available, it's a free app, and it's both Android and Apple. And I have used that app to print, well, not print that, I guess to lay that out, I guess you'd say. So I have my format that I like to use. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I do 9 photos. Okay. I do 9 photos, and that is a 5 by 7 print. All right. So the way that I get the photos laid out like that, that's just one of the templates. That's one of the templates that is part of that Epson Creative Print app. So I say, oh, that's the one I want. And then I just grab the photos from my camera roll, push them literally right into that format on the app, and then print it out. It's super easy. Okay. Oh, Joe Disney fan said, I finally bought the Epson PM400 and just set it up. I'm going to try it for the first time this weekend. You will love it. Okay, so this is a 5 by 7. The first thing I need to do is I need to trim the width just a tad. The reason I need to do that, my insert is 5 inches wide. This is a standard wide insert. So it is 5 by 8.25. And you might think, well, if this is 5 and this is 5, why do you need to trim a little bit off? Well, because you lose a couple millimeters from the center, right? If this was completely flat and I didn't have the staples binding it together, I wouldn't lose a little bit, but I lose a little bit. So I just like to mention that because I always get questions. Those of you who first start using the printer and you get a 5 by 7, you're like, well, wait a minute, the 5 by 7 doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? It's for that center. So you just need to trim. I just trim a little bit off. Just a little tad. Just a little tadpole. Maybe. All right, there we go. So these are all photos from the month, right? These are all photos from last month, from the month of May. All right, now we need to get out the stamp set. So that is my About Last Month stamp set, and that's the one that we'll be using. I need to get out my stamping blocks, and I need to start looking at the colors. Excuse me. Just a little frog there. Need to start looking at the colors in the photos, and then also the product that I want to use for my list. So the product that I pulled out for my list is from Beautiful Things collection. It's a Bow Bunny collection. And when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I have to bring it into my website because it's just so pretty. So that's the collection I'm using. I have linked to the Beautiful Things description. Link to the Beautiful Things collection in the description box down below if you want to see more of that. So I grabbed the washi, the die cuts, the 6 by 12 stickers. Well, I won't use the paper pad, but let's just take a look at that paper pad for a sec. I won't use the paper pad because I don't use paper when I'm doing my About Last Month, because really the photos are taking the center stage and then the list. But I will for sure use this for something else, because there's a paper in here that, let me find it. Anyhow, as I look through this, you can kind of start to get a feel for the beautiful patterns. But look at this. Those kind of random dots, you know what that totally reminds me of? This washi from Spectrum Sherbet. Well, it'll be easier for me to show you. Look at that though. I mean, isn't that funny? These collections were released about the same time, so there's no way that Katie at 49 a Market knew whatever the designer at Bo Bunny was doing. But isn't that funny? Like when you see things like that happen, it's like basically the exact same thing, the exact same idea. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, love that one. This is a fun collection because it's a neutral one, right? When I say it's neutral, I mean there's no real theme to this. And a lot of times, at least I am, looking for, oh, that one. I love those two colors together, the pink and then the coral. But a lot of times we're looking for product that does not have a theme, because sometimes we have a list that doesn't have a theme and we just want kind of a general collection. And this is a great one for that. You may have noticed as I was flipping through there are 36 sheets in this pad, but they repeat, right? So you get 18 designs, 2 sheets of each, which is kind of fun. All right, I won't be using that one, but I'll be working with some of these things. So let's get out the 6x12 stickers. This collection has copper foil accents. So I think you might be able to see that. You can see the little copper foil, which is fun. This isn't that fun, kind of that typewriter alpha. All right, so let's look at the colors that we have going and start looking at some of the embellishments. You know which color I'm going to pull out. You do. You know, right? The one that I'm for sure going to pull out, the yellow, because that's just what I do. The yellow is my thing. Well, yellow is one of my things. If it's hard to wear for me, even though I figured out a way to wear it today, if it's a little bit harder to wear as a blonde, I can certainly work with it in my crafting projects, right? Okay, let's say, I'm missing all kinds of things in the chat. So let's look at, I'm pulling out the die cuts. Ooh, that flower. Oh my gosh, construction. You guys, I don't know if you can hear that. We'll be so glad when the construction's done. So lovely. The world is full of beautiful things. Oh, that, like that, I just love. I love those dots. There's some more yellow. I'm not sure what we're going with here, but I'm just going to look through everything. That's a pretty one too. Oh, the bugs. The bugs are fun. Okay, so there we go. Those are the smaller of the die cuts. Oh my goodness, this one, I love this. Oh gosh, okay, Terry said, wait, where is that tray from? That one, I have no clue. I have no clue. Not a sticker on the bottom or anything. But I have trays. I have quite a few trays. You'll notice another one over here. It makes it really easy to but to sort through things. Right now on this one, I'm just dividing kind of what is speaking to me for this particular list versus, oh my goodness. It's funny because I don't open these packages ahead of time. I haven't opened this clearly up until this point, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at how fun. Beauty is everywhere. That could work. And that one. Okay, so this little section is some die cuts that may work. Then I also have the sticker book. So, ooh, okay, let's look. All right. Oh, okay. These, I love that look. And what's kind of nice about sticker book, and this is the way American Crafts, and American Crafts owns Bo Bunny. American Crafts does this with all of their collections. When they have a sticker book and a 6x12 sticker, you get the same kind of general idea, but the scale is smaller. Like, let's say, oh gosh, I love that, but that would take up a lot of room on my list. Oh, look, there's another version, and it's smaller. It's a little bit smaller to work with, so love those colors. Ooh, that date is kind of fun. There was something, look at that, the little stripes. Okay, so I've got a good feel now. word strips. All right, I have a good feel for what is in the collection. I know I'm going to use the washi. I'll use washi along the bottom. So let's see. Let me open the washi because the washi may drive where we head with this. Now I won't do this right now because, well, if I had thought about this ahead of time, what would have been really good idea is if I had pre-stamped some of the washi swatching stamps, and then I could put those in my notebook, but I won't do that right now because I didn't pre-stamp them. But what I will do, let's just do this. Sometimes with our washi, when it's on a roll, it's hard to see what's there, right? And what I mean by that, you're like, well, Lail, I can see those are, like little confetti dots. But when you have the pattern underneath, the pattern underneath, the pattern underneath, all layered on top of each other, sometimes it's hard to get a good feel for what it really looks like. So that is why, well, that's why I always like to swatch. That's why the new stamp set will come in handy. But for now, we're just going to do this so I can see what I might want to use. Like this guy, it's hard to get a feel for this one just because you have all of the little numbers or letters kind of, because this is a little bit more of a transparent washi. A little bit harder to see what it's going to look like in use. Good morning, Joy. Yes, time to work on About Last Month, which is exactly what we are going to do here. Ooh, this is a really pretty one. This teal with kind of the black line art. Oh, yes, because it's a little bit transparent too. Oh, look it. I think I could make that one work maybe because there's a little bit of green in those trees. I bet. And this, I think, just looks like, again, it's hard to tell because it's also a little bit transparent. Oh, okay, guess what? I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to see this, but there's a really subtle alphabet. Okay, watch. It's like a tone on tone. Let's see if we can see it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Can you see? Probably not. A little bit of tone on tone alpha. So that's kind of fun. And then we've got this beauty. And I'm doing this for me, really for me. So I can see what I think I might want to use, what washi I want to use on the bottom of this list, because that's how I get some color and pattern in to my About Last Month list. Ooh, that one is beautiful. I think we may end up using that one, but I'm going to have to change it a little bit. I'll show you. Ooh. Okay, totally missed that. We know this one's going to get used because it's that mustardy color, the yellow, because all the yellow is good, always. Always. Ooh, that's a good stripe. Oh, yes. Goodness, I'm going to have a heck of a time trying to decide what to use. And then butterflies. All right, so there we go. There's the washi from that Beautiful Things collection. So I don't know. I think that these two, right? So that and that could look really nice together. And then maybe I pull in some color because I have a little bit of pink there and some pink there. So maybe I can pull in a little bit of color in other spots. So let's see how we think that might work. Oh, let's see. Nick just popped in. I see. Hi, honey. No, Nick is golfing today. Nick is some kind of tournament. I don't know, whatever. Some kind of tournament, and it's 27 holes. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I won't be seeing Nick for a while today. And then he also played yesterday afternoon. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's his thing. So this is my thing. That's his thing. Whoopsie. It's nice that we both do our own things, but then we also do things together. So, all righty, let's see what we want. Oh, I got a little sidetracked there. Where is my tape runner? There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get this down. Yes, how's the golf going? All right. How far? I wonder how far I usually go up. Oh yeah, pretty high. Pretty high. So let's get all the way up there. Ooh, not that far. Okay, there we go. Now, the way that I like to do, the way that I printed this template actually has photos. It's meant to have photos that go there, there, and there. But I don't put photos there. I just put photos in the other spots because then I have room to decorate. So that's what I like to do there. Let's move those out of the way. Let's see what we were thinking. Now, I probably won't do this because I have that, and then that's a lot of kind of a little bit more muted colors, so that won't happen. Ooh, beauty is everywhere could happen, though. Okay, well, that doesn't really work, the thing that says what a beautiful place, but this bottom part could work. Like if I cut this off, let's just see. If I cut off the bottom of that, then it could fit. So we'll just cut, where'd the scissors go? Oh, here they are. I should probably use the trimmer. I need a bigger space. I need a bigger space. If I had a bigger space, then I'd just be making a bigger mess. So maybe not. So this little guy could kind of come in right there, maybe, right? Then if I do that, then what goes up here? This. So that could be like that, and a little bit of that poking out maybe. And then I have, oh, so now what I probably wouldn't do, I probably wouldn't then use these two colors because that's a lot of yellow and that kind of teal. So maybe instead we go back to this. This would bring in a lot of color, right? This would be a way to bring in a lot of color if we did that. I think that'll work. The only thing, I want to change this up a little bit because this is really wide. And it really, when you look at these two together, are almost a little bit wider than that one. So if I use that width and then put another one with it, then it's got a lot of width. And I don't want that much width. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to thinify, right? I'm going to make this washi thinner. And there's a super easy way to do that. I'm going to bring my trimmer, okay? And now I need to see how long I want that to be. So it needs to be probably about this long. And if it's a little bit too long, that's okay. So I've just pulled that off, unwind it. It's like Shirley Temple with her little locks of curl. All right, I'm lifting up the blade and I am going to, let's see, how wide do I want this? If I go there, I'm using the line on the, whoopsie, just from when I was, that's the piece left over from when I was cutting off, Lail, when I was cutting off the side of that photo. Right? This is like working with packing tape. It wants to all stick together. All right, unwind that. And if we use that line right there to the left, I'm lining it up with that line on my trimmer, okay? Lining it up with the line on my trimmer. Trying to get that straight-ish, right? Straight-ish. Ish is very important in what we do. If you're a crafter, any kind of crafter, and you don't live by the ish philosophy, you really should, because it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it ish. All right. So I've used that line on my trimmer to line that up. And now I'm just going to go and peel this guy away. And look at, now I have made my washi narrower. Or, so I have a little bit wider piece, or I have a narrow piece. So now I could really decide, ooh, would I rather put that maybe with this? What do I want the emphasis to be? Do I want the emphasis to be that, then with a little accent? Or do I want the emphasis to be like this with a little accent? I think I want it this way. So I can still use that for something else later. Hi, Kathy. Hello, hello. Janet said, I want to try to document monthly events. I think this is a great idea and will add to a lot of my journals. Yes, that is so. While I'm doing this, what Janet is talking about, I don't know if I've talked about this for a while because I just assume that everybody knows, which is a bad, you know what they say when you assume things. The way that I started doing this whole about this month list almost 2 years ago is I've been a scrapbooker for, oh gosh, 25, 26 years, a really long time. So documenting has always been a big part of my life, both personally and now professionally, because it's my business, right? It's something that I really enjoy. Well, when I started scrapbooking, I was pregnant with our first son, Jack. Well, Jack's now 24. So a lot has changed over the years. Both boys are out on their own. Nick and I are empty nesters. And the way that I used to document things is now very different from the way that I document them now, because they're not in school. They're, all the things that I would document when they were younger. Well, all those things, it's different, right? So I found that I wasn't documenting as much. I was still listing and doing mini books and things like that. But what I was missing out on was kind of the whole day to day, right? The whole day to day, of this, these are the sports, this is school, this is what's going on. Well, I was missing out on all of that because it just, I don't want to document what I do every day. Well, I do because that's what I do now. But one day I sat down and I'm going to make a little spread about just what happened in the month. And that's what this turned into. This is about last month. And that's what I call it. I call it about last month because I make a list of all the things, well, not all the things, but some of the things that happened during the past month. And I always say, you do you, right? You do you. You decide what goes on your list. And my lists are just kind of a rundown of the things that happen. Sometimes I'm a little bit more explanatory. Explanatory? I don't know. I don't think explanatory is a word, but you know what I mean. Sometimes I explain a little bit more in a little bit more detail about what happened. Other times it's just kind of a big run-on list. And it's a way to kind of capture all those little details that would maybe otherwise be lost. So that is what this is all about. This list that I do every month, that's what it's about last month. All right, so there's our start. I think what I'm going to do is now I will move over to this side. I will come back and still add some embellishment here, but I think I'm going to now do the stamping and then I'll kind of pull it all together. What I want to do though, underneath, so this little list from last week, there's a little bit of bumpiness going on. So yeah, I'm going to actually put that back in. I'm going to pull out a pencil board. So a pencil board. This is a pencil board. Nancy Gullison made this for me, but basically a pencil board is a flat surface that you put underneath something so it gives you a flat surface to write on or to stamp on. So in this case, I want to put this here before I do my stamping because then it's flat. If I don't have a pencil board, something underneath for a flat surface, when I go do my stamping here, my stamping is not going to look good at all because it is going to get all messed up because of those stickers underneath it. So pencil board, fancy name for a flat surface to write on or stamp on. So Linda May knows I love her name. Linda May. Linda said, some of my months are so boring. Well, guess what? You know what? Some of my months are really boring too. Some of the things that are on my list for this month, we finished watching the series finale of both Ozark and This Is Us in the month of May. So maybe you made spaghetti for dinner. Maybe you went to Trader Joe's and bought fresh flowers. You can decide what's on your list. Your list doesn't have to be like huge significant things like you went on a trip or you won the lottery or I wish, right? Whatever it is. It can be small things, big things. I think what is kind of fun about the mundane, and I'm glad you brought that up, Linda May, because that's, I mean, if I always like to say, if I had a list like this, something like this, or my grandmother's or my mom's or a relative or something, how cool would it be to see what their about last month was like? Like my grandma in the 40s. Wouldn't it be cool if I knew what her about last month was like? Maybe she, instead of driving to the grocery store, maybe she'd walk to the grocery store. Or maybe she was getting all her vegetables from her own garden. Or so I think documenting just the little boring everyday stuff is just as important as documenting the big stuff, at least in my head. So, all right. Oh, stamp. Where are we? So about last month's stamp. It is, well, this is exactly, it's designed specifically for this purpose. Now you could use it for other things too, but that is why I designed this stamp set. So I've pulled out my largest of the four. These are this is a nesting stamping block set. These are linked in the description box of the video, but I pulled out the largest one because I need to make sure I have a stamp block that's large enough to fit that, that kind of grid stamp. So let's get this out. And we need 2022. So thinking ahead, there's also 2023 and 2024. I need about last month. I need May because that is the month is May. I need the O and I need, sorry, the 0, not the O, and I need the 5. And that is the basis to start of that grid, right? So I have the grid, the 2-digit month, I have the year, I have the month in writing, and then I have about last month in my writing. All right, so I need to just think a little bit before I start putting those stamps on my stamping block, because when I put stamps on stamping blocks, my initial inclination is to center them, right? I just center them. But I don't want to do that here because if I center, then I have my stamp is over here, but then I'm kind of trying to span 2 pages with the stamping block, so I'm not going to get an even impression. I want to load these to the left side so that when I'm stamping here, I am not, or sorry, excuse me, to the right side. I want to load them to the right side so that I'm not dealing with what else is over here. There's nothing over there. Hopefully that makes sense. So I want to turn it this way, and we're doing everything here. This is where my brain really struggles, friends. My brain really struggles here with upside down and backwards and mirrored and all that. So I'll just double check. We're good there. Yes. Okay, we're good. I actually want to bring it up a little higher. See, I tend to try to center. I centered vertically. Let me just move this a little bit so I can get the bird's eye view and make sure that is straight. Well, ish, right? Straight-ish, because I'll be able to fix it in a minute if I need to. All right, there we go. And so that is my 2-digit month. We'll do the 5 there. Whoopsie. The 5 there. And the O here. Let me look at the chat because I'm missing all kinds of things. Oh, Kathy, that's interesting. Kathy said, I photographed the pancake machine at the hotel I was at. It's whatever you think is interesting. Exactly. It's whatever you think is interesting, right? Shauna, welcome, Shauna. Shauna said, I'm late. How far are we in? An hour. Yes, we're about an hour in, and we're working on our first list. We're working on about last month. Now, I did show and tell for the first little bit. We looked at the 4 new stamp sets that are coming out later this month. So that's why we are still a little bit early. Well, not early. We're still early in our first list. All righty. So let's see here. There we go. All right. So kind of looks like that. I think I'm going to move this guy just a tad. So we want it to be a little bit more centered here. Yam. May. See, not quite straight. All right, there we go. That's a good starting point. So let me just look at this. This will be going here. Yep, that is looking good. So now I don't ink this up and then right away just stamp. Oh my goodness, no. No, no, I could never do that. I don't recommend that you do that. I recommend that you always test stamp first for a number of reasons. Number one, especially on a stamp set like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 stamps that we are working with. We want to make sure that all of those line up and look really good when they're stamped together, right? So we can kind of tell right now, but really until you ink the stamp up, you don't really know until you see it stamped if everything is lining up properly the way that you want it to look. So stamping, doing a test stamp first will get you that. The next thing is I need to pick colors. So I may pick colors and then do a test stamp and go, oh my gosh, no, that looks horrible. I don't want to use that. I also, especially if I am, well, not especially, but really, if I am using alphabet stamps, I want to make sure that everything's spelled right. Because you may think it's spelled right, but once you stamp it, then you see, oh my gosh, that's not spelled right. What did I do? All right. When it comes to stamping, I almost exclusively use the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. And those are just what I prefer, right? That's you do you, I'll do me. I prefer the Distress Oxides. To me, they are what I like to call a juicy ink, right? When I say juicy, look how nice and solid that is stamping. With my inks, I pretty much use them exclusively for stamping. I don't do blending. I don't do watercolor with them. That's just not my jam. Stamping is what I like to use them for. If you are new to inks and want to learn more about inks, I have included a link in the description box of the video, almost at the very bottom. There's 2 different links to articles, some great articles at scrapbook.com. One is showing you the difference between the Distress Oxides and the Distress inks. One is a dye-based ink, one is a pigment-based ink. And they have different properties. So you'll see examples of those 2 together side by side and what one is used for, what the other one is used for. Then you also have another article that goes through all different types of inks and the different properties and the looks. So depending on what you're doing, if you want to do ink blending, then you'd want to use a oxide as opposed to a regular distress ink because the oxides are blendable. Anyhow, all that stuff, just to say, if you want to learn more, you'll find links in the description box of the video down below. So I have swatched I have swatched all of my Distress Oxides, okay? All of my colors. And I use, to do this, my, just know, very well used and loved stamp set. You can tell this guy, totally discolored. Don't be worried if your stamps start to get discolored. That is just, it has stained the photopolymer. It's stained that kind of plastic rubber. It's not stained in that, you know what it's kind of like? If you reheat spaghetti sauce in Tupperware, you know how sometimes it'll discolor the inside of the Tupperware? It's not, if you put white milk in there, your white milk isn't going to turn orange. It's just that it's kind of soaked in. That's scary when you're talking food, but it's kind of, this color is soaked into, in this case, the photopolymer. But it's not orange. But anyhow, I use that stamp set to swatch all of my inks. So now when I'm like, okay, what inks do I want to use, right? What inks do I want to use here for my stamping? Well, now all I do is pull out my swatches like this and go, okay, what do I think I want to use? Well, this is going to be no surprise. I know I think I want to use some kind of yellow. Maybe oh, that could be interesting. No, I think too much. But that dried marigold actually goes pretty well. I'm thinking, ooh, wild honey. I think wild honey is it. Look at that. I think wild honey is it. Scattered straw would work, but scattered straw would be quite a bit. I think scattered straw is probably too light. And when we get into more of the yellows, well, we don't want to go too orange. Rusty hinge. Oh yeah, see the yellows. We don't want to go yellow. Mustard seed would be good too, but wild honey has a little bit more orange in it, so I think wild honey is going to work. Oh, fossilized amber, not quite. So I think it's going to be wild honey. I think I have scattered straw more in the neutral section, I think. But I think that might be a little bit too neutral. Antique linen, Nah, I mean, that would go too, but a little bit too plain. I don't know where scattered straw is. I should probably move it so it's in the yellows. Oh, there it is. Yeah. No, see, well, no, it's just too plain. I think we want, I mean, that would totally coordinate, but I think we want a little bit more colors. So we're going to use wild honey. But yes, Joe agrees. Wild honey. Janet, love those Tupperware stain stamps. Yes. Okay. Janet said, sorry, I'm so chatty. I will calm down. Janet, no, you don't need to do that. You do not need to do that. So no need to stop chatting. You should chat. So normally what I do when I'm doing my stamping, I will do kind of a 2-layer. So I'll do the base and then I put a color on top of it. So now I need to think about that because usually I want to put a lighter color on top of a darker. And in that case, if I'm going to use wild honey probably needs to be that accent, right? It probably needs to be the accent that goes on top. So with that said, what do I want to do? Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe could do like a pink. Let's just see. So if we do wild honey, we know we want wild honey. And actually, I'm going to take this off. Wild honey. And then let's look for a pink. Oh, there we go. Okay, picked raspberry. I don't know, a little bit too pinky. We need something a little bit more toned down. A little bit more toned down. I know, Jana Lauderman said, I need to win the lottery so I can buy all the things. You and me both, sister. You and me both. Yeah, no, that's too bright in your face. But maybe Kitsch Flamingo. Spun sugar. Spun sugar could be pretty. So what's so interesting, friends? Where I thought I was going to head with this is not where I've headed at all. There's a lot of blue in those photos. There's no blue yet. I'll have to figure out embellishments to add a little bit of blue. So maybe we'll try spun sugar and wild honey. Let's take a look at that. So here's a tip. If you have lots of inks, okay? I have lots of inks. I organize my inks in the same order that I have them on my swatches. So it's really easy. So I'm like, oh, spun sugar, there we go. And then wild honey. So wild honey is going to be in the next tray. This little organization, this tool, whatever, that I'm using. Okay, wild honey, where are you? Did I put it more under orange? Oh, there it is. It starts in the oranges. So there we go. Spun sugar, wild honey. Oh, this is an Ikea tray. Well, there's a little shelf that it goes into, but my friend Vicky turned me onto this. So you can stack, I don't know, I think 3 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. You can stack 36 of the ink pads on one of these trays. And then that little unit, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 trays. So do the math. You can add a lot. But that's my tip. Try to organize your inks, even if you have 10. Organize your inks in the same order, if you're swatching, that you organize your swatches, so that they're easy to find. Here is a prime example. Hi, Terry. Here's a prime example of why you want to swatch your inks. Well, number one, if you have a lot of inks, it's a lot easier to flip through like this than it is to flip through each of these guys. But look, okay, look at the difference. If I was looking at this, I'd be like, ooh, yeah, no, that's too muddy. I don't think I want to use that. But when I can see it like this, what it actually looks like, yeah, that could look nice. All right, so the last reason why we want to test stamp first, well, the second to the last, is so that we can decide if we like the colors that we've picked, right? So we're going to start with a pink, and I don't know what's going to happen, so we're going to see. We will see. We will see what happens here. And I just have a little composition notebook that I use to, well, guy moved on me, that I use to do all my test stamping. And up until this point, my washi swatching as well. So there's obviously 2 different ways that you can get ink on your stamp, right? You can apply the ink to the stamp, or you can apply the stamp to the ink. Again, this is a you do you, but I find it much easier to do this, to apply the ink to the stamp. I can kind of control the placement a little bit better, especially when it's a big stamping block like this. Okay, so let's see what we get here. This will test the color for me, and it will also test that everything's straight. Hi, Ruth. Nice to see you, Ruth from our UK. All right, let's see here. Okay, everything looks good. It's pretty, well, it's not quite straight. All right, so we can see how my 2022 is crooked? That's another reason why we do a test stamp. The reason I also, well, I haven't talked about another reason why you'd want to do a test stamp. If your stamps are brand new, you haven't not stamped with a stamp before, oh gosh, come on. You want to do a test stamp first. You need to prime the stamp. Well, I say do a test stamp, but you need to prime the stamp. For me, the easiest way is to just stamp it first. There is a very thin, on photopolymer stamps, there's a super thin, like completely invisible to the eye, coating on the top of the stamp. So sometimes when you stamp, if you ever notice that, let me see if I have an example in here, that it looks really, I might have to show a fake example. Well, okay, not this, but this is just kind of faking it, where it just looks kind of weird, like it looks kind of blotchy. It's because it's a new stamp and you haven't primed it first, because that thin layer on the stamp itself is only letting part of the ink come through. All right, so test stamp first, and that gets it primed, ready for stamping. All right, so now what I need to do, that I have done that, now I need to add my second layer, because I was going to add the wild honey on top. So we'll just pop out a quick other, a quick other stamping block here. All right, well, I'm doing this. Tell me what you guys are up to today. Well, besides this, what are you up to today in the chat? What are your plans this weekend? Do you have plans? What's going on? What is going on? I have two, what I call like kind of watercolor swatches. Okay, that and that, those are stamps. And I added these to the stamp set because if you want to add more color, that's a great way to add more color on top of the month. There's two different sizes. So you have a smaller one. This is for shorter months, right? And then you have a longer one for longer months. When you're stamping, I always recommend that it's a good idea to have wipes with you, because you always want to check your fingers to make sure you don't have stray ink. You don't have inky fingers, as Vicky would say. You don't want to have inky fingers. Well, in Vicky's world, you want inky fingers because it's just what you get when you do all the amazing things that she does. But when we're doing what we're doing, I don't want ink on my fingers because I don't want to transfer that ink to my list. So always want to make sure I have wipes handy so I can clean off my fingers before I go to the real thing. Ah, okay. Doesn't work, right? Look at that. Totally doesn't work because I completely lose the May, right? I completely lose the May because that is darker than the pink. And some of you saw that coming from a mile away, right? That is too dark. So what do I want to do? It's too dark, but I like it. Maybe just what I'll do, maybe I won't have the double color. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have the double color. So I'm just going to do that wild honey in my entire title, like I had first done the pink. And then I will, then I will add more color to my list around it. All right, and just kind of cleaning it by stamping any residual pink off. All right, so we're not going to end up using that. Let's get out our little wipe. First day of summer break, a secretary at a middle school. Oh my gosh, Cindy, I bet you're so excited. Summer break. Oh, I'm missing things. Joe has a huge list of things she's supposed to be working on, watching and reading a book. Oh, I love it. Jana, Bible study tonight, running errands tomorrow. Oh, your fibro will take over. You'll be down for a few days. Well, Jana, then you get a few things done, and then you listen to your body, and then you rest, and then it's probably just right? Just keeps coming. It's just, I'm sure, a cycle. It's a cycle. So it's good. You're listening to your body. You know that's coming. All right. That guy we won't end up using. Now, somebody said stamp May in black. I could totally do that, right? I could stamp May in black. If I did that, oh, you mean like on top of there? You know how we can fake it? Watch this. We'll fake it by this. Ooh, I kind of like it. I kind of like that. Let's do it. Let's do it. So now I'll put the pink back on. This is going to be a 3-layer. It's going to be a 3-layer, and I won't worry about taking that off because when we stamp the yellow over it, it'll cover it right up. Okay. Get that all nice and stamped up. I think that we're still good. So when I talk about Distress Oxide, because as I mentioned, that's what I use. See how nice and solid that is? That's what I call a juicy ink. That is one of the properties that you get from using a pigment-based ink. Okay, so now we're here. Oh, whoopsie, didn't put those away. Move that. Do this. I want to do this quick while my ink is still wet and juicy. Okay, so we're going to come over here. My little pencil board underneath, so I have a flat surface to stamp on. Here we go. Oh, really quick, that reminded me. Usually one, two, three, four. To give some consistency from month to month, I try to put that horizontal line on the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 4 lines down. So we'll go right about there. And we want to be intentional when we're stamping, right? We want to be intentional. We don't want to be iffy. We don't want to be like, because if we do that, we're not intentional, then you're going to end up with a really weird stamp. You just got to basically go for it. And then you know what? If you mess it up, it's okay, because all you have to do, stamp again on a piece of white cardstock and put it right over the top of it. You'll never even know. Work with it, right? Work with it. Okay. Are we good? There we go. Okay. I'm a little bit crooked, but you know what? It's okay. We're a little bit crooked in there, but that's all right. We'll set that off to the side now, and we'll come back in with this guy. And that's the little watercolor swatch. Get it nice and juiced up, and come back in here. And let's go ahead. And I did see someone said, Lail, I wish you and Vicky would do something together. Talking about Vicky Booten. If you guys don't know Vicky, Vicky's an amazing person, a very talented artist and designer, and she has her own line of products with American Crafts, but she's a very dear friend of mine. I think we figured out we're going on like 15 years of friendship. We met through this amazing industry, right? Vicky will be coming to visit me next month in July. So pre-pandemic, we had a thing going where she would come out every summer and spend a week, and we'd do all kinds of fun things. And then pandemic hit, so 2 years went by where we did not do that. And now she's coming. So this is something really fun. Plan on, mark your calendars. It will be, let me look. It will be the 9th of July. Vicky's here. So Vicky does Friday Night Lives on her Facebook and YouTube channel. So I will be with her on her Friday Night Live. And then Saturday, that Saturday the 9th, Vicky will be with me here. So we've got some fun things planned. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty. Now I am going to, I think what I'm going to do is just put that there for now. Let's pick up May, and there we go. And let's get our black out, the black. I do not use the soot, Distress Oxide. Soot is the black color. I use, for all of my black stamping, I use this. This is Versa Fine Clair. It's pigment ink, so also a juicy ink. Before I do anything, make sure I don't have black on my fingers anywhere. but we want to test this, right? Because what if I don't like it? So we'll test it first. But that is just the best, the best, in my opinion. In my opinion, the best black ink out there. Oops, I kind of waffled it a little bit, so I wasn't very intentional, and I also rocked it. You don't want to rock, right? Remember that song, "Rock the Boat"? Don't rock the boat, baby. I won't sing. Vicky will sing to you. I won't. I would, but yeah, I have no singing voice at all. So we don't want to rock our stamp. So when you rock your stamp, what happens is the image gets totally distorted, depending on how hard that you press. So you may get blurry. You may get one letter that's thicker or thinner than others if you're rocking or pressing unevenly. So we don't want to do that. So if I come back here and just go nicely, look at how nice, much nicer and crisper because I haven't rocked. I am not going to Canada, Kathy. Vicky is coming to Utah. Yes, she is in Canada. Vicky lives outside of Toronto. Beautiful area, like the Niagara Falls region. It's a beautiful area. I have been up there probably, I want to say 5 or 6 times maybe. Last time I was there was in February of 2020, about a month before the pandemic started, whatever. I was teaching at the Crop and Create event in Toronto. So Vicky and I were both teaching there. And when I go up there, we do the same thing. I stay at her house and we, hang out and go shopping and eat yummy food. And yeah. So Vicky will be here for 10 days. 10 days. Can't wait. All right. So here we go. We're going in. We hope we like it. And if not, oh well. Right? If not, oh well. Life's too short to be worried about if we like it or not. All right. It's a little bit, it's super juicy. And I can see that it is, still wet. That's one of the things that when you're working with a distress oxide, or really not a distress oxide, but a pigment-based ink, pigment-based inks take a little bit longer to dry, okay? So I need to be really careful there that I don't drag my hand across, that stamped image. So that's why I just kind of put it off to the side. Okay, there we go. Get that guy cleaned and out of the way. So it's funny, you guys, our About Last Month list usually takes quite a while just because there's stamping involved, and anytime there's stamping involved, usually takes a little bit longer. I can still see that is still way juicy. Way juicy. Before I turn the page, and I'm not anywhere near close to turning the page yet, but before I turn the page, I'm going to want to make sure, I'm probably going to want to put a piece of paper in between there just because I don't want that to mar the photo. One thing I want to mention, and I just turned the prior page, before you start stamping, if you're working in a book like this that has a front and a back side, right? You're not as worried about this if you're working on a scrapbook page, but where I am working on every page in a book like this, before I started this list, I would want to make sure what I had done on this side was not going to get ruined. What I mean by that is juicy ink, right? Juicy ink. Can you see the shadowing or the ghosting of that stamp on the other side? So if I had done, sorry, I'm usually about a 5 or 10 second delay. So I'm showing you guys what I see on the screen now. You can't even see it. So I just moved it. You'll see it. But do you see the ghosting that's showing through? If I had done a list on this page and I had written and I wrote my list directly on the page as opposed to putting down pattern paper first, by stamping on this side, I really would have ruined that list because you'd see all that shining through, showing through, ghosting, shadowing through. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just the weight of the paper and then that type of, oh golly, totally missed it. I totally missed our troll. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I know, right? Naked HD fun. Oh, Lordy. Okay, we don't want to read that. Thank you guys for doing that. Yeah, every once in a while we end up with a troll, and that's just part of social media, unfortunately. So thank you guys for reporting that and blocking. So Always check before you start a new list, especially if you're stamping, always check what you have on the other side because you don't want to ruin all the work that you've done here. So when I put a list here, I will do something like this where I'll put pattern paper down first and then build my list on top of the pattern paper so that I don't see that on the other side. Okay, so let's now look at, let's look at a couple more of our, so I don't think we'll do any more die cuts because those are all now on the larger side. Ooh. Let's, my little 2 and 4 are falling off here. So this is a good opportunity for me to fix them and to talk about why that happens and what you do to fix it. Any stamp, any photopolymer stamp like this, they're sticky, right? The back sides are sticky and that's how they stick to the sheet. When they stop sticking to the sheet, and you want them to stick to the sheet so you don't lose them. When they stop sticking to the sheet, it's because you have dust and lint and whatever it is on the back side of that stamp. So that's 2 is not going to stick and I might lose it because it's not sticking. I just need to get that dust or lint off. So I just have some rubbing alcohol and I have a little kind of lint-free cloth here. And I just take that rubbing alcohol and rub it on the back side. All of that's gone. All of that's gone. Let that dry and then it will stick to what it needs to stick to again. And now we're talking about it not sticking to the sheet, but also you'll see the same thing happen. It won't stick to your stamping block either. So that's all you need to do. Now your stamp's not ruined. It's just that it has lint on the back or a little bit of dirt or dust, and that's why it's not sticking anymore. So I just have a little glass bottle here in my my craft room and that in a drawer. So I just have that handy whenever I need. I use rubbing alcohol. I think you can also use water. All right, now let's get this out of the way and we should really put it back in here. I still have the rest of the stamps to clean off, but I will clean off those later. Okay, so I wanted to add a little bit more color. So let's come back here and look at this. Oh, I know what I could do. What about this lovely? This lovely would get a little bit of pink. Maybe the lovely goes right there. Wouldn't that be lovely? And what's, get it? So what's nice about this, actually, that little accent, I think the reason it works there, for me, in my opinion, is number one, we have this blank space right here. We just kind of have that blank space. So it's calling for something. I put this here. This is very similar to that kind of watercolor stamp that's right there. The color works, but then on this side, I've now brought in the pink, and the pink, even our faces look pink, kind of brings the pink in here and now helps to tie it together a little bit more. So that is exactly what I needed there. Let's see, we need something here. Do you guys see that? It's just kind of plain. I wonder what we will add there. This is kind of cool. I don't even know what that means. It's like a stamp, Bangor, and then Bangor's in Maine, but then it says like Gwynedd. I don't know what that is. No. Oh, maybe there. So there, the reason I think it works there, look at this little trapped space we have right there. It's this weird little blank space. So it kind of just, when you look at it, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? You have this space, that. So if I fill in that space right there with that, that works there, okay? And then I think maybe we will look at take another look. Yep, we'll now look at the sticker book. So bigger stickers, now I need smaller, right? I need some smaller. One of those could be fun. Oh, I need to figure out how to use this one. Because remember before, funny, I had pulled that out of this. Remember when I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, even in the paper pad, I'm like, I love the pink and the coral together. So look, there we go. Smaller die cut sticker book. And this, okay, I won't use this on this page. This is why. Number one, circle, and I already have circles and circle, but having a circle over here will be a nice way to pull that all in together. But I already have a butterfly, and I also have that same kind of postmark. So I don't want to use that over here. It's just too much, right? But I could use that somewhere over here. Like this could maybe go, I don't know, maybe like right there in the middle of my list. Why not? Let's do it. We'll just put that, maybe we'll do it at an angle. We'll just put that there. And then now it kind of helps to tie those two pages together. All right, I am going to do my outline because that's what I do on ooh, careful. That's what I do on everything. Normally it would not take that long to dry and it's pretty close, but I've stamped Juicy on the base and then stamped on top of it again with Juicy. So I just want to be careful with that because, whoa, that's really crooked. I mean, it's always crooked because it's always hand drawn, but that was really crooked. This one always makes me think it takes a steady hand. Butterfingers, remember that? That was Operation, the game Operation, where you had the little guy's body that you were operating on. And okay, even though that's part of my photo, really, we'll just kind of continue our outline there. All right, so now is when we start our list. Vicki! Hi, Vicki. Yes, your ears must have been burning. We were talking about our July trip. Well, your July trip here. Yes, we're very excited for that. We're very excited. And Vicki, we need to spend some time solidifying what we're going to do on Friday night and Saturday. Well, we need to spend a lot of time solidifying a lot of things that we want to do in your hair, but pertaining to this, what we're going to do on your Friday and my Saturday. Yes, crooked is beautiful. That's right, Pearl. Crooked is beautiful. Hi, Kelly. Okay, so let's see now. Oh, well, now we need to start our list. And that's when, well, if you're not new here, well, if you are new here, this is when my workbook comes into play. So I, ahead of time, already know what my lists are. I know what product I'm going to use. I have the things on my list. I have my little sketch of however the list is going to look, but this is always the same. So things on my list. Because this is a run-on list, and what I mean by a run-on list, I mean I just kind of write things. My list is not vertical. I'm just writing one big run-on list. I like to separate the things on my list with either a bullet, and that's what I did here. I just used my pen to separate with a little bullet in between, or sometimes I will use a stamp. And I think that is what I want to do here. So we'll do the first few, and then I will keep going. Oh, then we'll move on to our next list. So what I'm wondering, let's get Wild Honey back. Let's get Wild Honey back and his, I don't know, Wild Honey. I think Wild Honey should go right. This is when it's dangerous. I won't be able to find it later. We'll just put it right there. All right. So I'm thinking, what if we try to maybe pull in a little bit of that kind of teal minty color? Oh, I already know. Tim does not have a mint. That is what I really wish that we would get. All I want for Christmas is a mint distress oxide. Because, I mean, cracked pistachios, okay, but it's not, it's like it's too green. We might have to use it. Cracked pistachio, mowed lawn is clearly not right. So we're in the greens. Evergreen bough is actually kind of close, but that's really dark. I don't think I want to go that dark. So now we need to go a little bit more into the blues. Speckled egg is not it because it's too blue, too light bluey, right? Light bluey. Salvaged patina, sometimes it's kind of close, but it's got a little bit too much. It's still got a little bit too much blue in it. So let's see. What if we tried, I don't know, cracked pistachio? See, we need a mint. Cracked pistachio, tumbled glass isn't right. See, now we're way too into the blues. Way too into the blues. So let's pull out salvaged patina and cracked pistachio. I want a mint. Vicki. Vicki's friends with Tim. Vicki, tell Tim we need a mint. We need a mint. All right, salvaged patina, and what was the other one I said? Oh, cracked pistachio. So cracked pistachio is, that's a hard thing to say. Cracked pistachio is what I need in, what am I saying? Oh, here we go. All right. Speaking of cracked pistachio, a gray? Oh, I don't know. Then a gray. So I had done last week on one of our lists that I haven't finished, so I used the gray, but then the gray is kind of muted. I don't know, it's kind of muted. Let's see. All right, let's see. We'll also look at weathered wood. That's the one, I think. Let's give it a shot. Let's give her a shot. Weathered wood. All right. Now, we need another stamp set, and those are the bullets. This is probably the most used stamp set of mine that I own. Bullets and more. Because when we list, I need lots of bullets, right? I either need to separate when I'm doing a run-on list, or like that, or like that. No, I didn't do it there. Or, oh, so here's a good example. There's a vertical bulleted list with one of the bullet stamps, and here's a run-on list with another stamp just in between. So we need to do some bullets. So let's take a look at the bullet stamps. All little small ones, perfect for your lists. And I think here, oh, you know what I think we need to do? I think the one that we want to use is the circle, because look at circle, and there's all these little circles here. And that will kind of reinforce circle, circle, circle. So we'll use a circle, the solid circle. Then we have our group invention, Lavon Wood, Sarah Foss, and myself. It came out of using these little bullet stamps one day. And I was using the smaller version of this as my stamping block. And I know, Vicki, you need a life so I can make this. You and me both, dear. You know how many lists that I have not finished because I do them here, and then anyhow, they're going to get finished. Because now I have a deadline. I need to get them finished so I can send them off for photography for the idea book that we're doing, friends. Okay. Anyhow, I was using the little stamp on a little stamping block, and it was a pain because you'd be like this and pick it up and do this and then re-ink it, and there was a lot of kind of picking up and stuff. So long story short, I released this little guy, Stamping Stylus. So it's a little clear acrylic block. It's about 6 inches long. Fits in the palm of your hand like a pen, like we're used to holding. And when I want to use a small stamp like that, all I do is this. Let's see if we like this color. So I just do this. Look how easy. No picking up and putting down like it was I'll end up picking up and putting down because I need to as I'm writing my list. But yeah, see, we could maybe make that work because that works with kind of that guy over there. Oh, and it actually would work with that darker green in there. So maybe that's it. Let's see. Let's get all of that color off. And that is our cracked pistachio. Let's look at salvaged patina. I always feel like I need to enunciate that word, salvaged. Oh yeah, see, no, that is not it, right? See how that's just it's just got too much blue in it. So you're out. Salvage patina, you're out. We're voting you off the island. Even though I don't really know what that means because I never watched that show, Survivor, but okay, here we go. And then here is the weathered wood. Yeah, I think the weathered wood is just going to be a little bit too muted for me. So it is going to be cracked pistachio. Cracked pistachio is the winner. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, idea book. Yes. Idea book. My friend Karen Petrowski, I shouldn't say non-crafty friend, but this kind of crafty friend. We were out with them in, what month is it? April. We were on a trip with them. We were in Harvey and they were in Hazel. That's their that's their Airstream. And Nick and I and Karen and her husband, we were out together on a trip. And Karen and I were talking, and we were talking about just my business and we're talking about things. And I don't know, off the cuff, she said, well, what about an idea book? Why don't you have an idea book? And I'm like, oh my goodness, idea book. Because I have lists and lists and lists and lists and lists in Traveler's Notebooks. And I thought, well, you know what? I could put together an idea book so that if people wanted to buy it, then they would have an idea book of different ideas for their lists, layouts and things. But anyhow, I digress. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm still going to keep my pencil board in here. So I used my pencil board before, flat surface for stamping, now flat surface for writing, because I have all of this kind of happening underneath and it will mess up my writing. So we watched the series finale for Ozark, and This Is Us. No spoilers, so I won't talk about those. No spoilers, but oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, both good. I'm very sad to see This Is Us end. Very sad to see This Is Us end. Oh yes, of course, it was National Scrapbook Day, right? Well, international, but I already wrote it. National Scrapbook Day. And then that means we did an all day on YouTube. International Scrapbook Day is always the first Saturday in May. And just know, we've done that now for the last 2 years here. We'll be doing it in 2023 as well. I did the let's get crafty mini book kit. So this is how I do my About Last Months. Basically, it's just a run-on. I keep a list going. A friend of ours, his wife had a 60th surprise, Jim Wilson's 60th surprise party. So I keep a list running throughout the month. I think it was Terry. I think Terry maybe. I don't know if it was Terry or if it was somebody else. When I showed this little book, she's like, oh my gosh, this would be great. This would be a great thing to do to just throughout the month use for your About Last Month, things that would go on your About Last Month list, or the things and would go on your In the News list. So that was a fun idea, I thought. All right, I'm just going to do a few more and then we're going to move on to our next list, because now you probably don't want to watch paint dry, which is what we're doing. There was a, where was that? Where was that? I don't remember. We went to this dance party thing, but anyhow, at a bar downtown that we don't ever go to downtown. So, oh yes. How do I write this? Okay. One of our very good friends' fathers. She was my maid of honor, and he, her husband, was in Nick's. Was a groomsman for Nick. His father, passed away in May, and that was very sad. So, anyhow, so there's all kinds of things, right? All kinds of things go on my About Last Month list, and I'm going to stop here. I will stop here, and I am not going to continue this list while we're live. I will finish this. I'm gonna finish this afternoon, this month and last month, May and April, because they're both like halfway done. But what I need to do, oh, my wipe is still here, so we'll just get that, whoopsie, off. And I want to make sure. Hi, Marie. Oh, waiting to pass a kidney stone. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Yikes. I hope that that happens quickly. Hope that happens quickly. Sarah, I just saw, oh, what am I doing? Sarah just said, no, that's not going to stick, so I gotta do my little trick again. Sarah just said in the chat, Lail, my friend, did her first book class with the Crafty. Let's Get Crafty mini book. She is hooked. She is so much fun. I'm so glad, Sarah. I love that. And I love that you introduced her. Yes, it is our job. Everyone on this, everyone who's watching, whether you're watching live or watching Memorex, it is important that we pass this along, whatever craftiness that you do. That we bring other people to the fold, right? We need to be the evangelists. We need to be the evangelists of making sure that the whole craftiness, all of the craft, doesn't get lost, because with the younger generations, especially, everything is digital. So this tactical hands-on, we need to make sure whatever it is, knitting, crocheting, embroidery, painting, watercoloring, mixed media, scrapbooking, whatever it is, it's our job to make sure that that doesn't get lost. So if we're passionate about it, we need to make sure we pass the passion on in a very healthy way. Not we need to pass on the passion. I need a tray here because to very quickly get all of this stuff from Beautiful Things out of the way. I'm just going to throw it on the tray. Here's a little secret. I have things on trays from like our last 3 weeks that I still haven't cleaned up. But at least they're on trays and not like spread out everywhere. All right, these will just move out of the way. Oopsie. I don't think I have any more stamping planned. So, all right. That needs to go there. So give me 2 seconds while I just get all of these things out of the way, because it'll make it a lot easier for us as we prepare to move on. I won't get so distracted by everything else that's out. Okay, so if you need to take a quick potty break or a hydration break, right? I need to have a sip of water here really quick too before we get going again. Okay, so now our next list is going to be, let's do the things, actually, let's do this one. So this is a single page list. This single page list is one that was suggested by Mimi. One that was suggested by Mimi Rude. And I love it when you guys suggest lists, because I can only come up with so many. So I have a very long list of lists going. My list of lists. And when I come up with them, or when you tell them to me, this is what I do. They go right here in my workbook, list ideas. So, this is a Mimi list suggestion, and it is, I just have to figure out how the heck I'm going to word this. Like things we didn't know back then, things we didn't know we'd need, or back then, things we didn't know would be a thing. Yeah, I've got to still figure out that. But this will be a single page list, and I'm going to do it right here. I know some of you, it makes you cringe to see this. Because I'm not going to use Sun Chaser. I had used Sun Chaser on this list. I'm not going to use Sun Chaser on this list. If that's something that bothers you, then in this example, you would use Sun Chaser on this list, or wait to do this list until you wanted to use Sun Chaser. So it would coordinate, right? They'd be 2 separate lists, because not all of my lists are 2 pages. A lot of them are single pages, although lots of what you see here are double pages, but single page list. And that's what I want to do now, is a single page list. I already know though, I have got to put a piece of pattern paper down here first, because I have this going on. Okay, we're dry. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to mess anything up there. So for this list, I am going to use products from the Felicity Jane Abigail collection. Felicity Jane has been around for a while. Felicity Jane is a new company that I have brought to my website. So not a new company, but new to Lail by Mail. I have been working with them for a while. They've known for a while that I wanted to bring in their products and carry their products. I think they're just so fun. And they just recently, never mind, doesn't matter. Okay, so I have Abigail. Now with Felicity Jane products, they don't do paper pads. They're a super small company, small business located in Arizona. So they don't do paper pads. You guys know in most of my listing, I use 6x8 paper pads, but when there's a company whose product I really like, but they don't do 6x8 paper pads, then we use 12 by 12. So they have very small paper collections. They have 8 papers per collection. So I have pulled out some, I don't know what paper I'm going to use yet, but these are the papers. I think I have 4 different collections of theirs in right now. All their papers are double-sided, right? We like the double-sided because then it gives us options, right? All their papers are double-sided. So they have 6 patterns as part of the 8 in the collection. And then they have 2 solids. Well, really 4 solids, right? But this is one of their signature things that they do. Look how cute on the bottom. They have that little just scallop on the bottom. Now there's white there, so it is straight, right? It's not, this paper isn't scalloped. It's not die cut scalloped, but that right there, how cute, right? You could do the simplest, cutest list by just cutting that paper. And then you could either write directly on that, or you could use that as your base and then put white cardstock or whatever you wanted on top. But I love that little accent on 2 of the papers. So I think what I'm going to do, I think this one is just, I think really fun. So I think this one can go here. And look, it works. It's totally different collection, but it works side by side because the greens and the yellows and then the whites. So that is what I'm going to use. That will be the base. So let's go ahead and get that ready. Move these things off to the side. Yeah, somebody said they're florals. And you don't see it as much in this collection. I don't think I have any of the other ones up here yet. I think everything's still downstairs. But if you click on Felicity Jane in the description box of the video, you will see, yes, they do. We talk about like Maggie Holmes and her cabbage florals. That's one of the things that Felicity Jane is known for, but not as shabby, if that makes sense. All right, so this will be the base. Let's go ahead and get our trimmer out. Debbie said, yeah, Debbie used to sub to the sub box. Yes, beautiful papers. So I brought in an assortment of their paper collections, their die cuts. So they have beautiful die cuts. But this, oh, look at you guys. They have puffy alphas. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That one is called Amanda. So I think I'm going to use that for part of my title. They also have small puffies, and that these go with their collections. So with Felicity Jane, each of their collections is named after a female. So this one that I'm using is Abigail. There's Reese. There's Amanda. There's Annie. I mean, they have a ton of them, but I'm using Abigail. So I thought these might be fun to use. But the one thing we talk about scallop, well, I'm getting totally sidetracked. Let me cut this paper first. So let's cut this guy off the product strip. I really dislike using this trimmer. All right, cut the product strip off, and my inserts that I use are standard wide. So they are 5 by 8.25. Now I always like to have a little white border around. So my paper will be 8 by 4 3/4 or 8 by 4.75. That will give me an even border all the way around. So before I cut, I'm going to cut at 8 because like that. Then I will trim 4 3/4. So what's nice about using a 12 by 12, even though we don't often use 12 by 12, look at, I could get a whole other list base out of this. I have lots of, ooh. Now, this could be kind of fun. Now that I look at the other side, this could be like a way layered list. I could do the yellow like that. I could cut this down to be a little bit smaller like that. And then I could do my white on there. Or, oh yeah, I was going to say, or I could do it this way, but if I do it this way, we lose so much of that. Yeah, let's do it this way. So let's go ahead and trim this one now down to 4 3/4. That will be my base, and I need to grab my corner rounder because I will round that upper right-hand corner. Rounding the upper right-hand corner. I know, surprise, yellow, right? Oh, sorry, the upper and lower right corners, because my inserts have rounded corners. So I like to do that. And then this piece will go on, but it needs to be smaller. So let's go ahead and, yeah, adhere this. Aren't they fun? Yes. Joe Disney's fan said, never heard of this company, but those letter stickers look so cool. They're a small woman-owned business. And you guys know how I feel about that because I'm one of those. I think it's really important for me that I seek out and find and introduce you guys to companies that are a little bit lesser well known than now. Don't get me wrong. You know, I love my simple stories. You know, I love my American crafts. I love those things too. But I think it's fun to also bring in things that are not as well known or as they're a little bit more unique. So it's just like how I think I introduced a lot of you to Pretty Little Studio, right? Pretty Little Studio. Also carry a ton of Melissa's products on my website. Another woman, small-owned business. She is in, what am I doing? She is in North Carolina, I want to say, I think. Anyhow, she's been awesome to work with. She does some special things for me that I love, like custom things for me, like my year in review kit this year. The whole About Last Month concept, that class and kit. She did some custom product for me for that, which I just loved. And let's be honest, if I went to somebody like American Crafts and said, hey, I want you to do some custom product for me, they'd look at me and laugh, right? That's a benefit of working with a smaller company because they are able to do things like that for you, right? Right. Anyhow, so yes, this is Felicity Jane. All right. Oh, you know what? This is another reason, you guys. They also do traveler's notebooks. Okay, look at these, the covers. Aren't those fun? The scalloped. Today, everything is about the scallop. The scalloped, there's the blush and then kind of that really pretty white. And they both have that, the nice polka dot inside. So totally different configuration than a lot of the traveler's notebooks that we're used to seeing because they just have the 2 slash pockets. But those are fun too. So I have those as well. Okay, there we go. Now I need white cardstock, right? We've got quite the layers going here, don't we? We're like Farrah Fawcett in the 80s with all of our layers. All of our layers. So my list will be here. And I'm not going to do any kind of measuring. Oh, I have something fun coming as it relates to measuring. Something fun coming soon. Well, I'm waiting for samples. As soon as I get samples, then I need to make sure they're what I want them to be and that they'll work for what we do. And then, watch out. We'll help with our measuring. Okay. All right, there we go. So it's kind of skinny, right? My list is going to be skinny mini. All right, now die cuts. This, Felicity Jane, remember we talked about the girls or the females that the collections are named after? This would be Abigail. So I thought it would be fun maybe to include her in my list. Maybe like that as a little side thing. But this is the thing I'm super excited about. Where'd they go? Where did they go? Ah, right here. Okay, look at these. Look at these. These are scalloped strips that are, what's the word? Totally losing my mind. Not shredded. Anyhow, you know what I mean. But look how fun that is. Isn't that fun? So I thought I would use one of these, maybe, the bottom of my list. So, well, of course, the yellow would work, right? So let's just look. So they have not self-adhesive, they have adhesive up at the top and adhesive strip. So what if we like sorry, Abigail, out of the way. What if we did that? Oh yeah, it would have to go like right there. I think we're going to do that. But I want to try to make it even. All right, so I'll just use my little pencil to mark here where I want to cut. and here where I want to cut. I know, fringe. Thank you, Janet. See, Janet, you were worried about talking too much. Oh, look, now I see. I see Joe said fringe. Pam said fringe. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's, where did I do this? Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just coming with my scissors because I don't want to put that down on the trimmer. If I put that down on the trimmer, it's going to do wonky things. It's going to stick. Whoopsie, a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Now I want to preserve this, so let's put this back on its little sheet. Where'd it go? Oh, here. Here. We'll just put that guy right up there at the top. Now this would go here. Got to separate the fringe a little bit. So these little things would be super cute on a, well, on a scrapbook page, on a list, on a, even on like a greeting card. Wouldn't that be cute? Oh, cute. Okay, there we go. There we go. So now that will stay down like so, and we can go ahead and actually I'll do my outlining first so that extra dimension isn't getting in the way of my pen when I do my little outlining. My list is getting narrower and narrower, isn't it? Okay, almost time for a new Sharpie. Almost time for a new Sharpie. Lail, since you are making traveler's notebooks, I really love to use the dot grid inserts. Would love to be able to buy just the dot grid. They all bundled with one lined and one dot grid. Yes. I am in the process, if you did not know, of having my own Lail by Mail traveler's notebooks, the outsides, the covers, manufactured. And that process is a long one because you have to identify first factories in China. And then what I do is I have them tell them what I want, and then I have them make a sample, send the sample, to make sure that it's what I want, because, you know, it's a big commitment. It's a big financial commitment. And you don't want to actually have to order a lot, because you have to order a lot when you're doing this. You don't want to have to order a lot and then you get them and you're like, oh my gosh, it's not what I wanted at all. So it's a lot of back and forth. I also have a designer working on design. So like what will be on the outside, the pattern. So as part of that, I will also, because the traveler's notebooks will also come with one insert. So then I will be, and I don't know if I'll do it at the same time. Well, still awaiting samples. I've received 2 samples from manufacturers so far. So waiting one more sample, then I have to pick the factory. And then once I do that, then we'll start with the inserts, because each of the traveler's notebooks will include an insert. So once we get all of that done, if they're going to do inserts for me anyway to be included in the traveler's notebooks, well, it just makes sense to then do the traveler's notebook inserts as well, right, as a standalone product. So yes, you will see that coming too. I can't tell you any kind of time frame. Hopefully, I will have in hand like the traveler's notebooks ready to go before the end of the year. It just, it's a process, because once you get all of that nailed down, then the manufacturing takes about 3 months. And then you've got to get here. So slow boat. Yes, it's very exciting. Thank you. I can't wait to. It's a process though. All right. So for my title is going to be Back Then. And I know it sounds odd, but it's going to be Back Then. So back then for my title, let's see. Maybe what I need is, maybe it's going to be, what if we use these two? And it is Back Then. So it'll be Back Then. And then I will, underneath it, like in parentheses, say things, I don't know, things we didn't know would be a thing, things, I don't know. I still got to figure out the rest of it, but we'll get there. So I'm going to use my ruler. to create the title. The reason I'm going to use my ruler, I don't want to put my alpha stickers down directly on here because I want them to be centered and I want to make sure I know where I want them to be. So this is my trick. Oh, yes, Pearl, thank you. Pearl said time to grab a lovely cup of tea. That reminds me, I said I needed to have a hydration break. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you back. Welcome back. All right. So for my title, back then, I am using my little ruler and I'm lining up each of the letters along the line that's on my ruler. These are just little 6-inch steel rulers that I have on my website. I use a ruler every time that I am crafting, especially when I'm doing my lists for a couple of reasons. This is one of them. So I am lining up my stickers on the ruler on the line to make sure that things stay straight, right? We want them to be straight. The next reason I use it is now it's portable. Whoopsie. It stuck a little bit to my desktop, my surface, my work surface. That's why it moved. All right. So now it's portable. I can come in and decide where is center, right? Do I want it left of center, right of center? No, I want it centered. So there we go. That looks pretty centered. Now all I have to do is press the top of those stickers like that, and whoop, there we go. Nice and centered and straight. So 6 inches is nice because we're working in a smaller space. I don't need a big 12-inch that I'm trying to work around. Back then, stacking my title like this actually works really well because both words have 4 letters. So it'll be nice and even. Back then. So let's think about things that would be on this list. What are the things that you didn't know would be a thing back then? However we're going to word that. What are the things? What would be on your list? It's very interesting. This led me down a whole, like, rabbit's hole of future list ideas. Future list ideas, like things back then that are now obsolete. But that's a list for another time. I don't know. It might be on next week. I don't remember where I put it. But so back then, what were things back then that we didn't have that we do now? Pearl, I love the way you spelled that. Pearl. Felicity Jane is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Vicki, you missed everything. Vicky's back and she said, what did she miss? Yes, we missed a reference to Farrah Fawcett and the layers. Our triple layered list led us to Farrah Fawcett. Back then, okay, that's pretty centered. I know where I'm going to do this. Okay, let's pop those up. My T is just a little crooked, so let's fix the T. Nobody wants a crooked T. Oh, this is funny. I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I'm going to have to tell it in bits and spurts, though, because I'll start telling it, and then I'll have to talk again about what we're doing. So back then, I just got those things centered. All right, back then. Now I'm going to do a little period here because it's the hearts. I missed the hearts before. Those were cute. Okay, so, and you guys, I'm an open book. You know this about me. I tell you lots of things. So we are not religious. When I was a little kid, we lived in Texas, and my sister and I went to a private Episcopalian school. Not because we were Episcopalian, but because my dad was in the Navy. We lived in a town where there was a naval base, and the school system was not very good. So my parents put us in a private school. My mom was raised very strict Catholic, so it was a big part of her life when she was a kid. But I was never raised with any religion. Not a bad or a good thing, just that's the way that it is. And my husband, Nick, wasn't either. So we live in Utah. There's a very prominent religion here in Utah, the Mormon or Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or whatever you want to call it. And we felt when our kids were young, maybe we should give our kids some kind of religious education because that's probably a good thing to do. So we went church shopping. Now, I know that sounds funny. but that's what we did. So now I'm going to stop And this is what happens when I teach in person. I'll start a story, then I have to stop because I have to go back to what we're doing. But I'll pick it up again. So bear with me. So back then, this is how I get you to stick around because you need to hear the rest of the story. It's like, what was his name? The rest of the story. Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey. My grandma loved Paul Harvey. He did a radio show like every day at noon called The Rest of the Story, which is awesome. Anyhow, I totally digress. We're squirreling big time here, friends. All right, back to the list for a minute. So I'm going to put my little rest of my title down here in parentheses, and it's going to say things we didn't know would be a thing. All right? Things we didn't know would be a thing. Things and I'm going to write very small, didn't know would be, things we didn't know would be a thing. It's just going to have to go here, right? Things we didn't know would be a thing back then. All right, so now for my list. I need to do, this could be super cute. Bullets, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have a lot more things. This is going to have to be a run-on list. But just as with our last list that we did, I am going to do a run-on, but I'm going to use the Bullets and More stamp. And I know exactly which one I'm going to use. There is a little flower. So let's see, I have 2 little flowers. I have a solid flower and an outline flower. Which one should it be? Solid or outline? It's funny. These all have a yellow tint to them. It's not that they're yellowing. It's that I've used yellow on almost every one of these stamps and I haven't cleaned them very well. Which one? Do I want to use the outline or the solid? I think I'm going to use the solid. So let's use this guy. And, okay, look, let's see. A Faradol. I have a Faradol. You have a Faradol? Oh, one of your little, what are those things called? The big head dolls. Paul Harvey. Yes, Tracy, I loved Paul Harvey. Maybe that could turn into a list. Like old-fashioned things that we still love. How about that? I'm going to put that on our list of lists, old-fashioned things that we still love or something like that, and we'll figure out a better way to name it later. Old-fashioned things we still love. We loved, whatever. And then I'm going to put Paul Harvey on here. And you know what's funny? I'm going to be like, Paul Harvey? I didn't know there was a guy here suggesting list topics for us. Yeah, no, Paul Harvey. Okay, so, yes, we already got it. Here's our little stamp on our stylus. Now, we have an option, right? We could use a green. We need to use that, right? We need to use kind of that peachy color. Okay. I don't remember what it's called. It's the new peachy color. I don't remember what it's called. Isn't that funny? Because to me, it looks a little bit more peach than peachy. Not abandoned coral, because abandoned coral won't be right. Not saltwater taffy. What is it called? Oh, you know what? What is it? Friends, tell me. Tell me. Vicky, which one is it? Which one? Do you remember? Oh, Donnie and Marie. Yes. Oh, I love Donnie and Marie. Because Donnie and Marie, Utah, right? So that might be the closest one we get. Vicky, which one is the one that's the newer one that was supposed to look peach, but to me it doesn't really look peach. It looks pink. I think I probably passed it. Is it saltwater taffy? I think it's saltwater taffy, but I think it's because it looks too pink. Right? Okay, we're crickets out there, friends. I think it's, oh my heavens, come on. Where are we? Saltwater taffy. Yeah, that's what I thought. But you notice I passed it right by because it looks, I think I have it more in the pink section than the peachy section because it doesn't really look, I don't know, maybe tattered rose. Where the heck, Lail? All right, bear with me. That's also how you know I'm from Utah. That's what we say here. What the heck? Oh, my heck. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. We'll just jump right to the... Oh, I put those... What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Now we're just going to get them all out. Vicki, we talked about this and how you did this, and I thought it was so awesome. Saltwater taffy. There we go. All right. Let's see if that works. Saltwater taffy, but I might also pull out tattered rose. Tattered rose gets used a lot in my world. It's kind of a blushy color. Kind of a blushy. All right. Salmony. There we go. Salmony. Salmony. All right. So okay. Let's see. This is again where we want to get out our little book so we can see what we have. And while I'm testing, I can continue to tell you my story. So we have very dear friends, the Petrowskis and the Becks. Karen, I talked about my friend Karen. That's Karen Petrowski. And Scott and Sherry Beck. We all went to college together. Well, except for Karen. Karen went to Michigan State. But the rest of us, Nick, it's Scott and Sherry. Well, Nick and I knew each other in college, but Scott was one of Nick's fraternity brothers. Oh yes, that will be lovely. Look at that will be lovely. It doesn't. It's a different shade, but that will be lovely for our bulleted list. All went to college together, known each other for years. We all had kids around the same time, and so we thought, well, maybe we should all go church shopping together. And I'm being pretty cavalier when I say church shopping because that's not really what you call it. But so. The first one that we picked, well, the only one that we ended up going to, was an Episcopalian church. We thought, let's start there. So, let me get to my list. Okay, so I'm going to have to try to talk and work at the same time. Selfies, right? Who the heck would even know? Things we didn't know would be a thing. Like back then, selfies, you'd be like, selfie? What the heck's a selfie? Because we'd be like, what the heck's a cell phone? Right? Selfies, doorbell cameras, like a ring. Doorbell cameras. I'm going to have a hard time talking and doing all this at the same time. I'm probably just going to have to stop and then tell you because it's a quite an interesting story. DoorDash, right? DoorDash or Grub Eats or whatever they're called, Uber Eats or DoorDash, your meal delivery. Like apparently you can say you want McDonald's and you can go and they'll deliver McDonald's to you. Okay, DoorDash, Uber, right? Uber and Lyft. What the heck? Why wouldn't you just call a taxi cab, right? Then we have, like VRBO, right? VRBO, vacation rentals by owner. What's the other one called? Airbnb. So we're going to say VRBO and Airbnb, where you rent out your home. I mean, really, you imagine that back then? And back then, who knows when back then is, right? Who knows when back then is? If you had told someone, yes, you might actually rent someone's home that you don't know, or you might rent out your own home to people you don't know. Kind of crazy, right? All right, Airbnb. And then we have, here's a thing, right? Gender reveals. I'm not knocking gender reveals at all. But I think back then, be like, gender reveal? What are you talking about? Gender reveals. FaceTime. Zoom. See how awesome that stylus is? Makes it so easy. FaceTime, Zoom, ooh. I'm going to jump now to air fryers because they're down lower on my list, but I needed a small word to fit there. Oops, air fryers. Now I better go to, since I just did air fryers, I better do Instant Pot. Instant Pots, right? Which that one, it kind of, back then, it was called a pressure cooker. No, but pretty much the same thing. Let's see, where are we? Did I get Instacart? Oh no, I have Instacart right after doorbell cameras, but I didn't put it down. So let's do Instacart next. Instacart, or like grocery delivery services, right? Instacart. I did that for a little bit, early days of the pandemic when I was afraid to go to the grocery store. Okay, DoorDash, Uber, gender reveals, FaceTime, Zoom. Oh, another one, like Pandora / Spotify. Well, they're not the same thing, but so basically like music streaming services, instant messaging, right? Instant messages. I'll just say instant messages because I'm going to run out of room. And then we have texting. Texting, right? Hi, Susan. Yes, no, never be sorry. Just happy to have you here. Sarah said, yeah, gender revealed was called birth. So funny. That's so true, right? Gender reveal. Microwaves, yes. Working from home, yes, right? Telecommuting, working from home. Wearing masks and not the Halloween kind, yes. Electric cars, yes. Electric cars. I didn't have electric cars on my list. Like Jetsons type stuff, right? Electric cars. Like plug your car in. Wait a minute, what? Plug my car in? What are you talking about? Now where am I? Instant messaging. Oh, texting. Okay, so then we have things like Netflix. Okay, this is going to be a long one. Netflix, Apple TV, Hoodoo, Hoodoo. Uh-oh. No, Hulu, not Hoodoo. It's Hulu and Voodoo. Wow. Right? Hulu and Voodoo. Is that right? No, I'm totally confused. Voodoo. Isn't it Voodoo? Somebody help me out. Voodoo. We have tons of them. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, what I'm doing here is I am using my white gel pen, but to erase, but then I tried to write with it on regular paper and now it's all funky. Bottled water, yes, right? Driverless cars. Yes, electric. So yeah, driverless cars, which is like the Tesla, right? Oh my heavens. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that later. Hulu. Voodoo. Thank you, Mindy. Hulu, Voodoo. Oh my gosh. And there, what else? Anyhow, I can stop there. So they're all streaming services, right? You're like, streaming what? Streaming services. Then that leads us to binge watching. Not funny, binge watching. Back then you'd be like, binge watching? What do you mean binge watching? What do you mean binge watching? Binge watch, what does that mean? Oh yes, so then I also have Google. Google. You want to know something very interesting? A statistic, not a statistic, but a thing that I heard the other day. YouTube is the second largest search engine. Think about that. YouTube is the second largest search engine. So Google, first largest search engine, then YouTube. So more and more these days, if you are looking for information, people go to YouTube looking for it, right? I know I do. I got a new Sizzix switch die cutting machine, and I'm like, how do I use this? I didn't go to Google and search for it. I went to YouTube to find a video to show me how to use it, which I thought was awesome. Yes, ebooks, very good. So the Kindle, that's the one I use, but Kindle are ebook readers. Ebook readers, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, you know what? Heck, it's fine. I'm going to just keep going. We might as well finish. Every time I say, well, I'll just finish it later, and I don't. So I'm just going to finish, and we'll do it together, or not. Okay, social media, right? Social media. So we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, right? All of those. So social media. Back then, social media, what the heck is that? Because we'd be like, computer, what the heck is that? Right? All right, what else do I have? Oh, yes, Alexa. Alexa, right? Alexa. Right? Alexa, or I got to be careful. I can't say it because then it will think I'm talking to it. The Google. Well, you can say Google, but you don't want to say the other word in front of it. If you say, hey, and then you say that, then it wants to know what you want. So you can actually talk to things and have it do things for you, right? Like Alexa and the Google. Alexa, yeah. Hey Alexa, but I can't say hey. Well, I can say, but I don't have Alexa. So I have Google. GPS, right? GPS, like having a non-paper map, right? Or a those of you that are in Southern California, the Thomas Guide. My dad and grandparents lived in Southern California. So when I was in high school and I would go out there and I'd want to go somewhere, they'd give me their Thomas Guide, which was this giant spiral book that gave you how to get places. Oh, yes, Siri. Siri's a great one, right? Siri, again, like an Alexa, when we talk to things and tell it what we need. Venmo, right? Venmo and PayPal, right? To be able like to electronically pay people. What? Venmo, PayPal. And then the last one I have, Tinder. So, right, like Tinder and other dating services. That is where Tinder, Jack, our older son, met his girlfriend on Tinder. What's really cool, they have so many like interests, and I don't think that they ever would have like found each other some other way than Tinder, because you can put your very unique interests and then it says, hey, you might want to meet this person. Oh yes, cryptocurrency. So what I was going to do, I was thinking maybe I'd put a little word strip sticker. So crypto is not going to be on my list. It should be, but it's just, there's no room for it. So I need a word strip sticker, and then this list will end. What I'm going to do while I'm looking through my word strip sticker stash, I will continue to tell the story when we were church shopping. So we go to the Episcopal Church. And Sam, our youngest son, was 9 months old at the time. So 6 kids, each couple had 2 kids, 6 kids. Sam was 9 months old. Well, they had a nursery, like a little, preschool or I don't know, whatever that you could put your kids in if you were going to the church service. But because Sam was 9, oh no, we've got that thing back again. Will you guys please try to block that? Please block that person. Person, we don't like you here. Go find a better place to be. Yes, another troll. So if we can block you guys, if you can block them, that'd be awesome. All right, I need a black sticker to fit there. So I have my small talk stickers. Let's see if we can find something that will go there. Oh yes, so anyhow, because Sam was 9 months old. Thank you, Tracy. Blocked and reported. Good on you. Stay curious could be an interesting one, or make a difference, because all of these things make a difference one way or another. Let's see. Make a difference. So anyhow, we go, and because Sam is under a year, they said, well, a parent has, if you have a child under a year, there we go. Make a difference fits perfectly. Okay. Our list is done. Okay. They were, yes, they were on yours last night. I hate that. That's just so bad. All right. So I'm going to finish the story, then we'll move on to our third list. So I had to, an adult had to stay in because Sam was too young, 9 months old. So I said, oh, no worries. You guys all stay with all the kids. So, all the rest of the adults, they go into the service, and we're in, I'm in with all the kids, and they're playing and whatever. And, this is how you know that I'm not, oh yes, Pam, I need to date that. This is how you know that I am not religious, because I don't know what you call the man. The priest or the pastor or whatever he is, came in, and he's going to do something with the kids. So he's in his long white robes, and he's very regal looking, and he's holding something in his hand. And he asks all the kids to line up behind him. And so Jack, our older son, who's now at the time, he's not quite 4. He pushes to the very front of the line. So he's lined up right behind the man, the pastor, the priest, the whatever he is. And he taps him on the shoulder, because I'm watching all this. He taps him on the shoulder. And the guy turns around, and Sam looks up at him, and he goes, hey, what's the big T for? Well, the man was holding a probably 4-foot tall cross, and it's like he's holding it. Well, again, little kids, What's the big T for? Yeah, I got quite the chuckle out of that. What's the big T for? All right, so I need to date this, and I don't have a lot of room for date, so I think we'll just put it right here. This would be June 2022. All right, there we go. Back then. Thank you, Pam, for the reminder. All right, let's get ready. Haha, yes. Which is funny, Tracy, you will get this. I know you will get this because if you knew my reference to Paul Harvey, you will probably know this reference as well. Reader's Digest magazine. Reader's Digest magazine. They used to have a little column in Reader's Digest magazine called, it was like humor or something or other, some kind of like religious humor or something. And then you could send in like things to be possibly included in this column. So I sent that into Reader's Digest. Yeah, they never picked it up. Well, I don't think they did. They never told me if they did or not. But that was, I mean, obviously that was what, 21 years ago. That was a long time ago now. All right, we are now ready for our third list. That's so fun. So nice and fun and bright and cheery, and that is what you see with Felicity Jane products. Lots of kind of white, and you guys know I like lots of white on my things because it helps to break things up, and wonderful colors, and yeah. So there we go. Back then. Okay, so now we're ready for our humor. Okay, yes, humor in these United States. There was humor in uniform. There were a couple of them like that. Reader's Digest, because my grandparents, oh, guess what? That is another thing that will go on that list. I just have to put it down or I'll forget it. Paul Harvey, Reader's Digest. I don't even know if Reader's Digest is still around. Oh, goodness. Good thing I am going to have my nails done on. How did I do that? Look I have like blue. Oh, it'll come off. I don't know how I got that there. Oh, I do. I have jean shorts on. I think I have some blue from the jeans on my fingernails. All right, third list. Oh yes, let's do this. Let me get, I need to get all the Felicity Jane things out of the way. So let me just pop these on another tray, and then we will be ready for our third list. What time is it? Oh, 12:30. We're doing okay. I don't have an end time. So I do not have, we're not like running out of town after today. I mean, after this, which sometimes happens when I have an end time. All righty. Oops, that's that other collection. We're mixing collections here. Oh, Amanda. No, Abigail. Yeah. All right. Let me get these out of the way. And all right, while I'm putting things away, if you missed us at the beginning, know that there are two giveaways today, and I'll give them away when we are together again in 2 weeks. We will not be together next weekend because I will be out of town. But 2 giveaways. This is one of the giveaways, a brand new little handy dandy notebook and matching pen set that goes with it. And, oh, this is kind of fun too. Look, it has this little gusseted pocket in the back for storing and stashing little things. The other one is one of my new stamp sets right here. W-R-I-T-E, right, as in right here. Oh, don't put those there, Lail. Hang on. Yes, and so the way that you can participate in the giveaway, make a quick mental note that when we are done, you'll come back to the video and leave a comment on the comments part of the video, not the chat, on the comments part, just saying hi, whatever. Tell me what was on your list if you were doing this list, even if you're not doing the list, what would be on this list, kind of back then, things that we didn't know would be a thing. And when we're together again in 2 weeks, I will draw 2 random lucky winners to win. One person will win the notebook, handy dandy notebook, and the other one will win the Right Here stamp set, which is one of my 4 brand new stamp sets. Boy, I've got blue all over me. Okay. Oh yes, the Reader's Digest condensed books. I know, right? And they were like had 4 books in one, right? Yes, those were so fun. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with a clean slate. Okay, a blank slate, a tabula rasa. We're starting with a clean blank slate. And we will be on our third list. Our third list is well, kind of the continuation, but for me, the start and finish, so I didn't even get it started, of a list topic that last week we did not get to because we were heading out of town and I had to go. That is, well, it's kind of a things I miss and don't miss. Okay, things I miss and don't miss. And we talked about that last time we were together, that for me, that was going to be when our kids were little. So when they were little, things I miss and don't miss. But you can fill in the blank. Things you miss and don't miss about college. Things you miss and don't miss about being a kid. Things you miss and don't miss about being married. Things you miss and don't miss about being single. Things you miss and don't miss about whatever it is. You fill in the blank. For me, I am going to do it about when the kids were little. But you guys know I always try really hard with our list topics to make them all inclusive. So I realize not everyone has kids, and that is a-okay, right? Just because I'm doing my list about things I miss and don't miss when the kids were little, you fill in the blank for whatever you want to do. Now, some of you got to jump start on me. Joe Disney fan, yes, Handy Dandy Notebook makes me think of Blue's Clues. I know. I always refer to Handy Dandy Notebook because I just love that. Where was I? Oh, yes. So some of you got a head start when we were together last, because it's been 2 weeks. Some of you actually did your list. Total segue. Yes, the Sears catalog. Shauna Marie. I actually did a list last year about the Sears catalog at Christmas and how you would sit down and anyhow. We used to, when we were little, right? You'd sit down with the Sears catalog and circle everything you wanted for Christmas. Not that you'd get any of it. Well, me, I don't know. Maybe I got one thing, but don't miss Barney, right? Okay. Yes, totally sidetracked. Things to miss and don't miss. So some of you got a head start. Some of you already did this list, and I know that because you posted it in the Lail by Mail Facebook group, right? So some of you guys shared. If you don't know that Facebook group, if you're on Facebook, go search Lail by Mail. You'll see a Lail by Mail Facebook page. You'll also see a Lail by Mail Facebook group. The group is private, so you just need to say, hey, I want to be in, and I'll let you in. But what's really fun about the group, you guys, oh, gotcha, Colleen. Thank you. It's Angel Time, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. I was thinking phone book for some reason because I saw Karen said phone. No, Karen said other magazines, but then I got to thinking phone book. My gosh, I'm so sidetracked. I keep scrolling. Where was I? Oh yes, Facebook group. A lot of people in the Facebook group share their lists. Okay, they share their lists, and it's so fun for me to see those lists because you guys see what I'm working on, but I don't get to see what you're working on. So I love that you guys share your list. So 3 people that I remember seeing, 3 people, Lynn, Wanda, and Gerda, actually did this list and posted it in the Facebook group. Okay, they posted their individual lists. And what I loved, if you were with me last time, I was really struggling. I was on the struggle bus big time. And I'll show you because we went through this exercise. I'm like, oh my gosh. Originally, I was thinking it was going to be a 1-page list because I was just going to do what things I missed when they were little. And then I thought, well, it'd be fun to do a compare and contrast. Things I miss and don't miss. And I had a whole other layout, like design planned in my head. So then we started doing this and I was drawing. I'm like, do we do here or here? But then this won't work. And so we went through all this and I finally went, okay, I ran out of time. We just talked about all this and didn't get it done. I'm glad that happened because what that gave me an opportunity to do was then see what you guys did. See what you guys did for your lists. And when I saw what a couple of the ladies did, I'm like, oh, well, duh, this is perfect. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So that's the list we're going to do. This will be our last list. Things I miss and don't miss when the kids were little. Oh, or when I'm going to say when they were little. Okay, because it's kind of a long title and it's 2 pages. So I had to kind of figure that out. But I just had a great idea because I just saw this, right? And I saw these. And I'm going to use these. And guess what? Look, they kind of go together. So I think I will also pull out my washi. This is, we had talked about this last week. This is the postmark, postage stamp washi from 49 and Market from their Spectrum Sherbet collection. Postage stamp, because look at, they're perforated. I can like rip those apart into individual little stamps or washi pieces. So I'm going to use those throughout my list on both pages. And kind of fun. They're actually on the website, but I haven't, they're like kind of in a hidden area. Oh wait, no, not yet. I brought in a very small, like small business, independent small businesses that are doing some really fun washi similar to this that are perforated, that tear apart like that postage stamp type washi. So I'll pull those out for next time just so we can see them. Because they're actually, the box hasn't even been opened yet. All right, so I need, where did I do with that washi? Oh, here it is. That is my, I think it's called outlined rainbow hearts or something, but they're rainbow hearts that are offset outline. Because, you know, me and my outlining. All right, so I am going to use that. I'm going to use that. And I am going to use, oh, I need title, right? And I think title-wise, I will use the Florence, Bella Boulevard Florence. It's one of my favorite fonts. And the Florence alpha stickers I have on my website. And this is kind of fun because super whimsical font, right? Super whimsical font, which will work with our topic. Things I miss and don't miss when the kids were little. Now, where is that roller skating? Oh, goodness. Where's the roller skating cat? Hold on. I have to look. Where's the roller skating cat? I had him because he was going to go on the list last week. But guess what I did find while I'm looking for the roller skating cat? That. Terry, if you're still here, I found it. Some of you will remember, okay, hold on, still looking for roller skating cat. Some of you will remember we did a list a couple months ago, like high school fashion trends or whatever. And I had planned for the list to be a 2-page. And, oh, Janet, yes, Janet, for sure. You please hashtag, yep, hashtag Lail by mail. That would be awesome if you post anything that has to do with me. Hashtag it for sure. I'd appreciate that. But I was going to do a photo of myself from high school and I couldn't find it. And then my mom finally found it. Now this is a little teeny version. Look at young Lail. Little teeny version. I think I was a sophomore in high school, but I am going to take a photo of this and then I think I'm going to print it. I think I'm going to have Persnickety Prints print it, the full size, and that photo will be there on the right-hand side. I just saw that while I was looking for the roller skating cat. I wanted to pull in some of the Kid at Heart because Kid at Heart, well, that would be really cute, right? Because it's kind of playful kid theme. My gosh, I'm not going to be able to find the roller skating cat because there's 800 trays around here. Let me just look for one. Gosh darn it. That's, again, if I put it away where it belonged, I would not be looking for it now, right? If I put it away where I belonged, I would not be looking for it now. But, alas, I did not. Hang on. I'm just looking through my pouches for that collection. Sorry, my back is to you, so that's how I'm kind of not as loud as normal, which maybe isn't a bad thing. Oh my heavens, where is it? I do not know, but I found something else that I needed. All right. I don't know where my Kid at Heart pouch is. Well, the Kid at Heart is just not really happening, is it? All right. I'll have to figure out how to add that later. So this list, sorry, you guys. Sorry about that. This list is going to be a 2-pager, and I'm going to do the list directly on the insert itself. So I'm not going to do a like background first. directly on here. So we'll start with our outline. And then I will do my title. Like I said, I figured out how I'm going to do it based on, I think, a couple of the examples that I saw in the Facebook group. So I love that you guys share in there. It's fun. If you're on Facebook and you're not part of the Facebook group, there's lots of squirrel memes that get shared there. Because squirrel, that's our little mascot, Scatter Squirrel. Like I tend to do, I squirrel a lot, or I get off topic. All right, so now I need, this is going to look like things I miss and don't miss. And this is going to say when they were little. Things I miss, don't miss, when they were little. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So lots of title work here, right? There's lots of title work. And this is where I want to use my ruler again. So I'll take my ruler and my little reverse grip tweezers. You can see I have 2 sheets because these get used quite a bit. Love the font. I think I have like 10 different colors of this font. It will not be this. It will not be the Bella font, but I actually have one of the stamp sets that will be coming out next. So not the current ones, but the next round of stamps. I have a alphabet stamp that has a very whimsical, what am I doing? Oh, things, not the. I think I was going to put they there. Things. A very whimsical font because I use this font a lot in our list. So I started thinking, you know what? I really need a stamp set that is whimsical, a whimsical alpha stamp set so that, oh, not ready for the I yet. So that we can make our own titles in whatever color that we want, right? So it won't be this exact one because this is Bella. But it will be, it's very fun. We've already found it and identified which one we're using. And so, yes, we're already on to the next round of designing stamps, even though, well, that's just how you have to work, right? That's how you have to work. Well in advance of things. Well in advance. Let's see. Good afternoon, Gabriella. Boa tarde. I know I didn't say that correctly at all. I don't know the first part. Brazil, I love it. So tarde, afternoon, right? Buenos tardes, because I think of Spanish, right? Good afternoon. So I think you're saying good afternoon. Good afternoon. Nice to have you here. Carolyn, Lail by mail. Easy. Lail by mail. That's how you find it. Oh, things I miss. So here we go. Things I miss. So if you're just joining, we are working on our 3rd list. And this one is things I miss, don't miss, when they were little. So for me, things I miss and don't miss, that is really the list topic or prompt. And then you fill in the blank below that, whatever it is. If it's when kids were little, if it's when you were young, if it is when you were single or married or high school or college or a little kid or, you fill in the blank. You fill in the blank. What things I miss and don't miss when I was on the Miss America tour. No, I wasn't, but you just got to, whatever it is for you, you fill in the blank. Things I miss. So here we go. Things I miss. And then you see what I just did? I put my ruler there. I decided where I wanted it to be centered. And then I pressed down on the tops of the letters to release them from the ruler. And here we go. My eye just popped off. That reminds me of did you guys, when you were little kids, did you ever like go pick daisies and you'd pop the head of the daisy off like this? You'd go, hi, Deshira, nice to see you. Oh, there's a giant spider on my window. Ugh. Yes, you'd do little dandelions and you'd put your thumb right under the head of the dandelion and you go, Mama had a baby, and the head popped off, and you'd pop the head of the dandelion off. But like, so weird when you think about it. I mean, you're a little kid, you're just playing with flowers or whatever, but what a weird saying. I don't know where that came from. Mama had a baby and the head popped off. Yeah. Well, that's like the other one. 3 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and broke his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Things I miss. And now don't miss, right? Don't miss. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm continuing with my ruler so I can get them lined up the way I lined up straight. Although they don't really have to be straight on this one because it's a whimsical font. Things I miss and don't miss, but it's more, you know, getting them centered, right? It's more about getting them centered. Yeah, Mama had a baby. Yeah, exactly. Mama had a baby and a head popped off. So odd, right? So odd. Yes. Yes, yes. Kind of scary, exactly. Oh, yes, Tracy. Did anyone else rub buttercups under your chin? If you got yellow on your chin, it meant you were in love. Or when you take like a daisy and you'd pull off each of the petals, loves me not. He loves me not. And then you'd get towards the end and you'd start seeing in your head, oh my gosh, there's going to be an odd number. Oh, and then you just stop because you didn't want it to land on loves me not. All those little fun little games that we played when we were kids, huh? Like that. Like kick the can. Well, that's also like way back in the day when, at least when I was a kid, your parents would be like, go outside and play. Don't come back till it's dark, or, you know, whatever. And so you literally would play outside all day, or come home when it's dark, because you really didn't want to come home, but you had to come home when it was dark. That's something that I don't think we see a lot anymore. I was afraid to let my kids go out and like really, you know, just go play. Don't come home for hours. Different times, right? Different times. Okay. So here we go. We kind of line that up there, get it centered-ish. Okay. And then we get exactly where we want it without having to do any measuring. Things I miss, don't miss. Now I need my little apostrophe. So, oh yes, here's some little apostrophes. We'll move this over just a tad to squeeze that apostrophe in there. I'm feeling hungry. I didn't have breakfast. And then I was trying to eat my little fruit snack before we started, and I managed to get a couple grapes in. Things I miss, don't miss. And then we'll just do this. 3 little dots. What do they call those? Ellipses? I don't know. Things I don't miss. And then when they were little. So I have to get, I need to get the bottom part down in a sec. I need to get the bottom part down because I need to know room I have. But I had decided I wanted to use this along the bottom. This will bring a lot of color in. A lot of color. And it's kind of, oh, I just love this washi. I love all those colors. Even though I made it, I can say it. I can say I love it. All right, there we go. I'm going to use this one again next week. And it's fun. Somebody sent me a card. And I'm going to show you the card next week. But I love what she did with 3 of my washi. And so it's going to inspire me. It's going to be the jumping off point for our list next week. And that's one of the washis. Oh, I must have been rubbing my face at some point because I have a little bit of like oil or grease or makeup or whatever it is on my fingers. So don't want to have those on my list. Joe Disney fan said, generations today don't have a clue all the fun they are missing out on. Catching glow bugs. Yes. I've never seen a glow bug or a lightning bug. That is one of the things on my bucket list. I've never seen one. I've always lived in the western part of the United States. Well, that's not true. When I was young, my dad was in the Navy. We lived in Indianapolis and Florida and Japan, but I've never seen a glow bug. So on my bucket list, I'll see it one day. Jackie, okay, I just saw this. Jackie said this is a great idea. Jackie said, I asked my husband the same question. So my list will be things we miss and don't miss. Great, right? Or what would be interesting? You could do, if you're doing this a kid thing, you could say things I miss and don't miss when they were little. And then you could have your kids, I mean, you could do it, but you could still have them, you know, tell you what they missed and don't miss from when they were little, right? That'd be a whole different way to kind of compare it, which would kind of be fun. Things I miss, don't miss. And when they were little. Okay, so we're just doing it. We're just going to take our little sweet time. If you're with me, you're with me. And if you're moving on with your Saturday, you're moving on and good with you, good for you. But I am going to finish this list today. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, no, I need to scroll back up. Oh, Mindy, you just saw one last night at your son's house. Oh, fun. Yeah, I don't know what they look like. So some people call them fireflies, lightning bugs, right? Different things. There is a store, well, I taught at 2 years ago, literally the week before the pandemic, the week before. So I was in Minnesota, Pine Island, Minnesota, at a store, scrapbook crafting store called Firefly Farm, right? Firefly Farm. Because apparently in the fall, summer, I don't know when they come out, there are fireflies everywhere. And yeah, so when I was there in March, obviously they weren't then. I'm actually teaching there again, I think in October this year. So I don't know if that's the right time of year, but I hope. And if not, I'll just have to do a bucket list trip at some point to go see them, right? Talking about bucket list trips, another bucket list trip is the Northern Lights, right? The Northern Lights. And that one's kind of hard because you're not guaranteed to see the Northern Lights. You could go all the way to Iceland or all the way to Northern Canada somewhere. And, that's the only reason that you went was to try to see them. Linda May, we have them by Willard Bay. We do? Linda May. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Okay, so, like when? What time of year? What time of year? I had no idea. Look I can cross it off my bucket list maybe sooner than I think. Lightning bugs, spring peeper frogs, garden toads. Oh, some of the best things about the spring. See, guess what? We don't have garden toads here, I don't think. Linda May will tell me if we do. Spring peeper frogs. I don't even know what those are. But you know what we do have? We have the crickets. And the crickets in the summertime, I love. Now, okay, yes, now. All right. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to plan a trip out to Willard Bay. Things I miss, don't miss when they were little. Now, these guys, these alphas come in, I don't know, I think I said like 10 different colors or something. But I went with the black because, I went with the black very specifically because of all the color here. And then remember, I'm going to work those into my lists. Things I miss, don't miss when they were little. Okay, we're almost done with our title. Almost done with our title. Ooh. Okay, well, we could run into a problem here, friends. We'll have to see. We're little. I might not have enough room to do we're little. We're kids. Maybe we'll do kids. KIDSLITTLE. That'll save me two littles. Two letters. I think we'll do we're kids. Things I miss, don't miss when they were kids. Oh yeah, you know what? Because it's not necessarily when they were little. It's just when they were younger. And I don't want to say younger because that takes way too much space. We're kids. Things I miss, don't miss when they were kids. Now, can you see why Kid at Heart will work really well with this as soon as I find the roller skating cat that I wanted to add last time? When they were kids. Need my roller skating kitty. Oh, Lil. Yeah, I could do Lil, but I think kids will work. I think kids will work. I'll have enough room for kids for sure. For sure. Like little goats. When we were on our trip last weekend, we went to Grand Staircase National Monument in Escalante. That's in Utah. And we were, anyhow, long story short, that doesn't even exist in my world. Everything is long story, even when I try to make it short. We drove past this pasture of all these goats and little babies. So we're like, oh, look at the kids. And because baby goats are kids. Yep. That's a squirrel moment. Okay, things I miss, don't miss when they were kids. So you guys, like I said, 2 weeks ago when we were together, I was having such a hard time because already in my head, I had planned on this being a single page and it was only going to be things I missed when they were kids. And then I decided to do a double. And then I was so just discombobulated because I had changed everything that I was going to do. I just could not land on a format. And I loved that a couple ladies shared their list in the Facebook group. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Things I miss, don't miss when they were kids. All right. So I think another thing that I need to do, I think I need to take my ruler and I think I need to draw a line to separate. I need to make a separator. Need to make a separator. Oh, morning snuggles, Shauna Marie. Yep, morning snuggles. That's on my, oh, well, snuggles on my list. For sure, snuggles is on my list. Now we're using a ruler like you'd normally use a ruler, right? And then we'll do this. Same thing here, except this is just gonna, I think, go to the don't miss. Like that. And then, this is gonna be weird, but I'm going to do this outline above. I need to make just a little dot right there and a little dot right there. So I know where to stop and start. Okay. There we go. And then same thing here, little dot, like Lil Nas, but little dot. Oh, I kill myself sometimes. Okay. There we go. Okay, things I miss, don't miss when they were kids. All right. Let's see. Okay, I need to take a quick sip of water. Quick sip of water. Okay, now we're off and running. Okay, so honeysuckle juice. Oh, is that where you'd like literally suck the juice out of the honeysuckle flower? Yeah. All right, so now what I thought I would do, here's my sketch. Here's my title. Here's all the little squares of the washi, and that's where the roller skating cat was going to go. But clearly now the roller skating cat is not going to happen because I didn't leave enough room there. I just realized. So maybe what I'll do, I had pulled out these little, the puffy sticker from Kid at Heart. So maybe I'll try to work those in a couple places. Let's, I think, start with this. And would like to start with the lighter color first. So when we start with like the color of the rainbow, we usually start with red, right? So pink is a version of red. And then there's like my little postage stamp, right? So I thought what I would do is maybe just kind of put these, I'm just sporadically going to put these little color blocks throughout the list. Let's see. Golly. Hope I didn't ripple this. Oh my gosh, it's back. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. If someone could get, I don't know if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. Put user in timeout. Hide user on this channel. So sorry, you guys. Okay, the user's messages will be hidden. Oh, no. Okay, I think I got them all deleted. I think we're done. I think I got them all deleted. I apologize, you guys. That was some pretty awful language in there from that troll. So I think hopefully we're good because I can still see them on my screen, but it says message deleted by Lail by mail. So hopefully you guys can't see that anymore. So sorry. Stupid dinglings. Go make your own page and say what you want on your own page, right? You're not welcome here. Not welcome. All are welcome except when they keep doing that. Oh, they keep doing a little. Okay. So you know what? I'll keep watching for it. And now I know what to do. I just clicked on it and then I could hide them really quick. So we'll be good. I'll just watch for them. All right. So then I'll do this one here. So I just I just did I did a landscape version now instead of a portrait. And then we have the yellow. Yes, they have too much time on their hands. It's like the Stick song. Too much. I won't sing because I don't sing. I can't sing. Like too much time on my hands. Yeah. Right? You know that song. And then, okay, we get to the green. Isn't it kind of fun how these kind of match those a little bit? Right? Oh, all right. Let's do this. I am going to cut this. So then we get a little bit just right there. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit. So it's almost like it's bleeding off the page. And then we need some more over here. So let's see what other colors we have left. Oh, so if I do 4, I have enough for 4. We're getting another different version of a green. Oh, maybe, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that green. We'll do these and then end up with one more pink. Or we'll end up with the red instead. How about that? All right, so now let's do this one right here. So how I'm using these is just as little color blocks, but what else you could do, you could use these in a whole strip, right? You could use them in a strip, and then they'd be kind of fun as a strip, right? Ooh, that one is kind of close. So now maybe we'll do the pink and the red again. I mean, you could really turn these any direction that you wanted, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm pretty much all the right direction person. Not right direction, all the same direction. I did not mean to say right, because who's to say what's right and wrong, right? Correct? All right, there we go. All right. Nice bunch of color there. Now, what I had pulled out, you saw me a minute ago pull these out. These are from Ellie's Studio. And I have quite a few of Ellie's Studio things. Again, another small business, woman-owned small business. You probably wouldn't walk into a scrapbook store and find these products, which is, I try to have some things that are a little bit different. These are puffy stickers. We have puffy shapes, so stars and hearts and then dots. And then we have the hearts. But let's see. What's fun about like these type, there are 2 shades. These are warm and these are cool. So what may be kind of fun, I was going to do it with the hearts, but I don't want to do it with the hearts now because I have all the hearts down here. I bet I can find colors too. What if we do this? This was my thought. We could do like this. Oh, yes, cute. All right. We're going to add stars to each of these little blocks, our little color blocks. So that will help to bring in a little bit more, just a little bit more pattern, just a little bit more of a visual interest, right? Maybe this one goes up here. Okay. And then we'll do a green one down here. What I love about this, so there's like how many different greens and blues. So we're actually, these are all totally going to work. Oh, let's see. This guy probably needs to go here. Yes, thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate you hitting and reporting and all of that. It's very frustrating, isn't it? But it's just, it's not me. It's not us. It's just what people do. They just, too much time on their hands, like the Styx song, right? Like Styx, too much time on their hands. Dorks, dorkies, dorky malorkies. Okay. Oh, yes. Look at, isn't it funny? Again, okay. 3 different manufacturers. When I say manufacturers, washi from 49 and Market, designed completely independently from the puffy shapes from Ellie's Studio, designed completely independently from the hearts from Lail by Mail. Okay, and then we go to our pinks. Who would think that we'd be able to find like literally all of those colors that we needed? Awesome Blossom. Okay, is it this one? That one? Nope. Needs to be more red. It's probably this one. Yes! Okay. This is going to be very, it's going to have lots of little fun, puffy dimension to it. All right, now we're ready for our list. It's a robot. Yeah, we'll keep appearing, so block report each time. Yes, I will do, and I'll watch for them. Well, I'll try to watch for them now, okay? All right, so now we are ready. We are ready for our list. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was going to maybe do some of these too. Where can I put, maybe we could put one of these little guys. Here? Yeah, I'll figure that out later. Maybe when we're done, I'll see if I fit one of those. Okay, okie dokie, okie dokie, Smokies. We are now ready for our list. Oh, yes, there's also a, this one is called Christmas. I like that one too. Oh, and then, look at it, I keep going. There's also a neutrals. Look at this, neutrals. So gray, white, and black. Oh, and there's one more. It is gold. Gold, right? All right, so there we go. Let's now do our list. So if you are doing this list, I would love to know, first of all, if you're doing when they were kids, in the chat, tell me what is on your list. Even if you're not listing with us, tell me what's on your list. Let me bring this up so you can kind of see, because what you can't really see, when I pull it up closer, you can see the kind of blocks around it. So it may look like my stars are placed in really weird places, but do you see the little part of the tape around it that you can see on the list? It's just a little bit harder to see. A fast food car hop. That's fun. Okay. So if it's when they were kids, or it's when you were a kid, or whatever it is, when you lived here versus there, things you miss about living in Texas, things you don't miss about living in Texas. Really, you guys, you could have a whole book, a whole insert about things you miss and don't miss about lots of different things. All right. So things, oh yes. Kathy said, chocolate milk and donuts, Saturday morning cartoons, jokes. Oh my gosh, Tracy, I've got to add that. Jokes. Jack, we used to say, oh my gosh, dork, get out of here. Remove and hide user on this channel. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Let me put user in timeout. I mean, I don't even, yeah. Okay, hope you guys didn't see that again. I don't know, you guys, this is what is so weird. Yes, Friday Night Lights, for sure. Friday Night Lights, and yeah, I have sports on my list, but I'm going to add that too, at Friday Night Lights. I know, not my fault, but you know what? It's really weird. Up until the last couple of weeks, we've never seen trolls like this on here, so I'm not sure what it is that is all of a sudden making them come to us, but we don't like them. All right, things I miss and don't miss. Things I miss. This is probably one of my very tip-top ones. I actually did a scrapbook layout about this once. Playing the cloud game with Sam before he went to sleep. So the cloud game. Now, the cloud game started when they were little. You'd be like at the park or something, and you'd be like, oh, look at that cloud. It looks like a whale. Look at that cloud. It looks like a squirrel, or whatever. Well, somehow, Sam and I, when he was really little, turned it into like a before bed game. And we'd be laying in his bed, and I would have, read his story or whatever, so he's all ready. And we're laying there, and I'd say, let's play the cloud game. And so it's dark in his room, right? And I'd look up at the ceiling or whatever, and I'd say, I see a cloud that looks like a squirrel. And he'd say, I see a cloud that looks like, and then he'd make one up, right? And so it was a total make-believe because it was nighttime. We were in his bed. We weren't seeing any clouds, but that is one of I miss that so much. So that, if I ever have grandkids, that is a game that I will introduce to my grandkids, because it's just, and it's fun because he'd get so excited, and he'd be thinking about, yeah, Susan, that's the other thing you guys can do. You can hide the chat. If this person keeps coming up, you can hide the chat. So that's definitely something that you can do, so you don't see that. But just his little imagination would go wild, and he'd be, and he'd get all giddy and smiley, and he'd be like, I see a cloud that looks like this. So yes, I love those. Miss those a lot. Loved those. Okay. Playing the cloud game with Sam before he went to sleep. I've got to make some bigger bullets here with my little pen. All right. Next one. Oh gosh, sports, right? All the sports. So, all the sports. And that would be like the spending. Who's that? Oh, Vicky. Vicky's trying to FaceTime me right now. I'm not sure how that would work. That's weird. I'm sure she's telling me how I can get rid of that troll, but that's funny that she's trying to FaceTime me. All the sports, spending all day Saturday at the Little League football field. Friday night lights. Travel, lacrosse, tournaments. Oh, I know, Vicky, that was funny. Oops, that's me. I know. I'm like, oh, Vicky wants to FaceTime me. I don't think I can do that. That's so funny. No, yes, we'll FaceTime later, Vicky, okay? That's so funny. All the sports, spending on travel lacrosse tournaments, the team mom. Oh my God, spending hours, and then days, creating the end of season football team videos. So, side note on that. That, I don't know, somehow I ended up as like one of the things that I would do. I know, buying all the orange clothes. Vicky knows that. High school, the boys, their high school, Brighton High School, they were the Brighton Bengals and their colors were orange and like royal blue. And so, yeah, I had to have all the orange clothes because when you'd go to their sporting events, you had to be, repping the orange clothes. Yes, Vicky knows that about me. She's like, why do you have so many orange clothes? And when we'd go shopping, I'd be like, oh no, I need to find orange. Yeah. Oh yes, really quick story. The end of season football team videos. So somehow Jack was probably 12 or 13. So, 10, 11 years ago or whatever. 11, whatever. I somehow got roped into making the end of season football team videos. It's because I was the person who had the fancy camera that was taking all the photos. And they're like, well, can't you just make a video? I'm like, okay. Well, the first time I did it, I'm like, I had no idea what I was doing. So I spent so much time learning, trial by fire, how to use iMovie with an Apple iMovie. And that I am so thankful for, because years later in my business, I'm like, oh, I can do all these videos because I already know how to use iMovie. So it was kind of awesome. Okay, so all of that, the sports stuff just literally goes on and on and on. But I miss that. And it's funny because it's one of those things because when our kids started playing sports when they were little, and so our Saturdays that was Friday nights, Saturdays, the whole fall was football, spring was lacrosse. It was just always part of our lives. So initially you think, oh my gosh, I'll be so excited when they're done and we can have my life back, right? Or our lives back. And then when it's over, you're like, oh my gosh, you miss it so much, right? So anyhow, things I miss when they were little, or when they were kids, right? That, even the high school stuff. I miss all of that, the sports stuff. The big one, okay? The big one, Christmas morning, right? Oh, so one thing that's interesting, I was not paying attention to, see that, how I'm writing over I might have to fix that. I'm writing over the washi tape because, it's in the way. Christmas morning, and seeing the, excitement. I'm going to have to write small, squish it in, excitement, and the joy on their faces when they came down the stairs. Oh my gosh, I better stop writing so much because I have lots more. Snuggles. Oh gosh, I'm going to totally run out of room. Snuggles. Bedtime stories. This is another one. This is Sam. This is my Sammy. You guys, a lot of you feel like you know Sam because Sam is, especially in the early days of the pandemic, he was here with me. And he's made appearances every so often. He is and Vicky knows this about him. He is very much, he's so tenderhearted and like, we used to do something called butterfly kisses, right? You know, butterfly kisses where you like, you do your eyelashes, you like eyelashes together, and that's called a butterfly kiss. At least that's what we call the butterfly kiss. But then Sam turned it into nose kisses and ear kisses and forehead kisses and cheek kisses. And yes, so butterfly kisses with Sam. Now, Jack's an awesome kid. Jack is just not that kind of kid. He was not like that. So that's the Sam thing. Oh gosh, back to school shopping, right? I missed that. Back to school shopping. Because, you know, shopping. Back to school shopping. What else do I have? Holding hands, right? I love it when they'd like reach out for your hand, holding hands. Trick-or-treating. When they were little, right? Trick-or-treating, that was always fun. They wanted to get all dressed up and trick-or-treating. All right, we're getting there. Trick-or-treating. Yes, they're silly jokes. I think, Tracy, did you say that one? That's a good one. They're silly jokes. Jack was always like the random fact guy and the joke guy. They're silly jokes. Rocking them to sleep. And, another one. Chocolate the bear. That is Sam's stuffed teddy bear that he got from Build-A-Bear when he was 3 years old. He went to a birthday party when he was 3 years old, and he made a bear, and he named it Chocolate, and Sam still has Chocolate the bear. He still sleeps with Chocolate the bear. I love it, but I miss that whole Chocolate the bear. All right, okay, don't miss. All right, what do we not miss? What do we not miss? Hold on. Pam, things I miss when my grandchildren were little. Exactly. So there, you guys, you could go so many different ways with this list. So if you don't have kids, change it. Things I miss, like we talked about, things I missed when I was in high school, things I missed about going to the movies versus things I don't miss about going to the movies. People talk, I mean, there's so many different ways that you could take this list. Oh, Pam said, this list is getting me all teary-eyed. Miss my little guy. Yeah. Okay, don't miss. I don't miss nagging. The constant worrying. Now, here's the secret. The constant worrying, right? Here's the secret. Even though that doesn't go away when they're adults, right? Yeah, the worrying. I don't miss the different kind of worrying, right? Different kind of worrying. Yes, Karen said the pre-pandemic versus the era we're in now, right? That could totally be a way that you do this list. Great idea. Yes, the diapers. The diapers, right? You don't miss the diapers. You don't miss buying them because they're expensive. Buying them, changing them, and disposing of them, right? Like the diaper genie. Even then, the diaper genie, they would still smell. Just, yeah. You'd have to just be like, okay, we're going to take it outside to the garbage. Yes, Pam. Kathy, one of the items on my list, being a chauffeur, right? Driving them back and forth, all times of day and night, right? Here, there, and everywhere. Now, I could have written chauffeur. I would have to figure out how to write chauffeur first, right? I mean, how to spell it. All right. Yes, driving them around, being the chauffeur. Here's another one. Constantly picking up their messes. Then them making a mess again. And picking up again. Uh-oh. Picking. I don't have room. Now I know you say, you know what? You shouldn't pick up your kids' messes. How are they going to learn? But sometimes you get to the point where you're like, forget it. Forget it. It's driving me crazy. I'm going to pick it up. And then, yeah. Also, do not miss. I'm going to try to cut off part of this. Darn it. Part of this little sticker. Let me cut off part of this little sticker, maybe, because it's in my way. It's not quite perforated at the right spot. Picking up again. Okay. The show's always on repeat. The Teletubbies. And Barney. My goodness, Barney. Barney the dinosaur. Yes. The movies, I know, right? The movies on repeat too. Exactly, Karen. Because, and my mother-in-law told me this because Nick's mom, because she was a school teacher for, 20 some odd years. She was a retired school teacher. The reason that kids watch, especially the same movie over and over and over and over and over again, their brains can't string the whole movie together. So they'll watch it over and over and over and over again because every time they're learning different parts of the movie. So if they watch it 100 times, eventually it all strings together, which I thought was pretty interesting. All right, Teletubbies and Barney. The fighting, Debbie, yes, the fighting. The fighting. And I'm going to say between each other. Well, and sometimes it would be me fighting with them too, right? You've got to pick your battles, but sometimes, Beach Gal, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. I used to tell my son that Barney only worked on grandma's TV. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, right? Oh, sorry, it only works on grandma's TV. Grandma has a special TV. You can't watch Barney at home. Only at grandma's. That's hilarious. Until, for some reason, you would need to put him down in front of the TV so you could get something done. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, is it like special? Just this one day only. Just this one day only. Barney's on our TV. Buying shoes. I know they grew so fast, right? You're constantly like reclothing them. And then you finally understood why sometimes you'd see kids with like floods on, like their pants too short, because they grow so freaking fast. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't keep, I'm going to let them grow a little bit more before I buy the next pair of pants. Yeah, Jack was 6'4". Well, he is 6'4". So Jack did a lot of growing when he was a little kid, a lot. And then Sam's a mere 6'0". But Nick's 6'2", so we're all big. I used to be 5'8". I used to be 5'10". Now I'm about 5'8", because that happens. We shrink. All right. So I'm getting close. Oh, yeah. Waking up in the middle of the night, right? Oh, my gosh. When you think you're going to be a zombie. Waking up in the middle of the night as babies. And you just think you're so sleep deprived. In fact, I'm going to do this as another one. I'm going to write sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation. Don't miss that, right? Okay, what else do I have? Oh, the bickering. I'm going to put constant because I need a little bit more space. Constant bickering. And then this is going to fit here. The homework, right? And the battles about the homework. Did you do your homework? Okay, the homework. That's kind of weird how I ended up with, oh, huh, yeah. I don't know. That's really weird. I need to try to color in my dots to fix that because, see if I can get my pen going again. Those really shouldn't be there. This one actually shouldn't be there because that's the end. Erase with my magical white gel pen. So if I do one here, I really don't need to do one here. Right? There we go. And then I'll just get these. Oh yeah, constant bickering. And then we'll just do this one. It's fine. Okay, that's what I was trying to do before when I was on this other list about the voodoo, hoodoo. Yeah, I called it hoodoo. I put the two together. All right. All right, friends. Hey, look it. We got almost them done. I mean, we did, oh, toys everywhere. The Happy Meal toys, right? Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hated the homework battles. I know, the homework battles were always, yeah. Let's see. Movies on repeat is how I got things done, Joe Disney fan. Yes, right? Stepping on the Legos. Oh, yes. Smelly rooms. Debbie, that's one I don't miss. The smelly lacrosse bags, the smelly football bags with their, and those were like adult man smells. I mean, you know, they're teenagers or whatever, but yeah, yucky. Okay, there we go. Now I was going to try to see if I could fit, what do we fit here? I don't know. Where do I fit it? If I wanted to fit one of these little guys, no, that doesn't work. I don't know. We might not end up with Kid It Hard after all, because we have lots of color. We just have lots of things going on. So I think, oh, you know, okay. Now this would have been fun too in hindsight, especially if you're going to do a list like this. You haven't done it yet. How cute would it have been if I had little photos of them when they were little kids in there? Wouldn't those have been fun? Instead of the color. Although, you know what I could do? I could print little tiny photos to go in those little boxes so it'd have a little bit of outline. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, because that's a lot more work. So I don't know if I want to do that. But oh, I need to date. We need to date this for sure, because this is a fun one. Well, they're all fun, but I need to date this. So didn't really leave room for a date anywhere. What if we just do? We'll just do down here. We'll just do this 6.22. So we know it was in June 22. All right, friends. So just about, right? I just need to go and finish. I just need to finish up this list. I need to finish up this list. So Marie, you were the kidney stone, right? If I remember correctly. I hope that is over soon for you. All right. So I'm going to sign off. I am going to flip the camera, turn off the lights, flip the camera. Giveaway. Guys, don't forget, 2 giveaways for next week or next time we're together. In order to participate in the giveaway, hang on, let me unplug. Let me rotate the camera. Here we go. Okay. 2 giveaways. Hold on. Don't hit the 911, Lail. Don't hit emergency. Okay. 2 giveaways. The little handy dandy notebook and pen set, my brand new little one for making your little notes. Oh, sorry. I was trying to show you how big it is. It's like the size of the palm of your hand. That's one of the giveaways. The other giveaway is one of my new stamp sets that is shipping in mid-June. So we're getting close. Well, because I have these. These are my production samples. So that is this guy, the one that's called Right Here. It's great for the intro page and the exit page of your Traveler's Notebook insert, but you could use it for lots of other things too. So your lines and then the little icons are designed to go in either of those little spots. So yes, one giveaway, the Right Here stamp set, and then the other one is the Handy Dandy Notebook. So participate in the giveaway, leave a comment on the video when it's over. in the main comment section of the video, not here in the chat because I won't be able to see all of those, but in the comment section of the video when it is over. Sorry, we're still crooked. Yes, thumbs up. I always forget that, you guys. If you haven't already given the video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up. That is one of the easiest ways that you can support anyone that you follow on YouTube, anyone that you follow on Instagram or Facebook or blah, 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 whatever the things are, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever it is that you do. If you watch people, if you can just give them a thumbs up or a follow, you can subscribe by clicking the little bell notification here. Those things are super helpful because not everyone can shop, and that's obviously super helpful, but simple things like that, leaving comments, giving thumbs up, liking, following, sharing with your friends, hashtagging, all those things are one of the best ways that you can help people like me. So if you would do one or any of those things, I would sure appreciate it. Okay, friends, we will not be together next Saturday. So we will not be together on the 11th of June, 2022. But we will be together the 18th. And so far as I know, the 25th. All right. So I'm trying not to miss more than one. Don't do 2 weeks in a row missing because I miss it. It's too hard. I don't want to do that. I know. There was one thing I was going to show you guys. I had it at the beginning. You've seen, I think, me use this, my little passport or A6 size traveler's notebook, that when we go out, in our little RV called Harvey, but I did a couple more entries in him. So I have these little, traveler's notebook inserts. This one, road trip. So this is where I do our little road trips. But look at, isn't that fun? You just have the same prompts every time. So right here, and you put a photo there. So I added, I don't think I showed you guys that one. That one, maybe? We've done 5 trips so far. We just got Harvey in December. We've done 5 trips. But what's funny, we did Rose Bowl in December. And then the rest of the 4 trips we've done in like 2 months, almost, basically. So that one was March. Just because now's the time of year. We live in the cold land, and so it's really hard when it's cold. That one, look at that. That is called the Little Grand Canyon. Also in Utah. Utah's amazing. But what I love about using this little book, it's just an easy way for me to capture all of our little road trips in Harvey with capturing the same information every time. Where you went, the dates, who you went with, memorable stops, weather encountered, what you listened to, favorite food stops, when you got home you felt, distance traveled, things like that. So just kind of fun. So I'm all caught up in that one. All right, friends, I'm going to sign off. So I won't see you for 2 weeks. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a wonderful next 2 weeks. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you again on a Saturday in the future. Okay, bye-bye.